No, I know. It's just like I might as well air this conversation if we were going to be talking anyway. So there's that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, here we go. Okay, so who's waiting right now? Because for whatever reason, we are, despite being in the Western Hemisphere, right? So there's that. But yeah, this is a random stream which I've yet to do in at least 2 or 3 weeks. It's been a minute because I was traveling, to Southeast Asia and whatnot. I haven't been really uploading, but I have a lot of stuff that I'm gonna schedule in the near future, hopefully. And someone who is regularly uploading is actually with me.
I like that. I like that word.
The witch. So,
Near.
yeah, you're something else, kid. Good lord. Okay, so why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Manny's long lost cousin. He found me and convinced me to start a YouTube channel with him called Imagine That. He said
Oh,
he didn't really want to do it alone, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go in with you on this big project, I guess. So yeah, now I'm here.
well, thank you for coming through, Mr. Imagine
Oh, and
Sen.
also, my name is Johnny.
Johnny. Is that a fact?
Yeah, it's Johnny.
All right, kid. Johnny. All righty. So we have some questions here, or a question. Jeriel Dudley. What's up? How are you guys doing this morning? Jeriel, hopefully I'm getting your name right. Yeah,
2 a.m. in the morning.
we're doing lovely. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's 5:20 in the morning. So some people
Yours
might
is morning, man. Mine is still like, hey, Timmy, you should probably go to bed now.
well, like, believe it or not, like this morning started off on like a sour note for me because, I mean, Tim actually rang me up, maybe a few hours ago, which is fine. However, in the midst of that, I was actually going to the hospital to drive my friend home who got into a fight. And yeah, it's weird how like he thought of me as an emergency contact, but I'm gonna hold it down for him. But uh waking up in the middle of the night to do that was kind of whack. And now I am streaming with you guys because I didn't feel like going to
You
bed.
guys should have been there. Manny was throwing punches left and right, and he was live streaming on Instagram and everything. Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah, no, it
So
was
fun.
incredible.
Yeah, I
Um,
watched it and I was like, man, I wish I could be there, punching everyone too.
Oh, good lord. Actually, I have a question about that in a bit, as far as fights and whatnot, and we'll get to that. Don't worry. I just want to get to this comment. Amur, you speak French? Gur? No, I don't speak French. Like I can read it, write it, and kind of understand it on a base level, but it just won't come out of my mouth. It's something I should work on, especially as a Canadian. I know Tim doesn't speak it either, but if you talk about perfume on YouTube, I think it helps for sure. Let's see. About that though, there was a lot of fights going on right now, as far as combat sports. So that was on. If you guys watched the boxing match between Usyk and Tony Bellew, and then there was a UFC on. But again, this is a random stream about everything. So if you have any fragrance related questions or anything pop culture related, uh, Tim and I were gonna talk anyway, as far as a hangout to a certain extent. So essentially, if you guys feel like tuning into what we're typically talking about, just pretend it's that, and we'll try to get to some of your questions as well. So thank you again for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Now, also, I see my good friend Fragrance Apprentice in the chat. Dude, I'm just gonna give you the link for this, so you might as well hop in. So if you guys want to see George in the
What is
fragrance live stream,
fragrance?
then if you want to see George in a fragrance live stream, hit us up with a 1 in the chat if you'd like. I'm going to put them in anyway. So fuck it. But here, George, check your messenger link. Please jump in.
Did you see my comment?
Oh, you don't want Georgian. Well, that's racist. Yeah. And he's laughing about it, of course, because Tim's that kind of vindictive soul, believe it or not. Because I know I'm on a different level. So yeah, Tim.
I'm
Oh,
Johnny.
You're a witch?
When I'm wearing this hoodie, I'm no longer Timmy. I'm Johnny.
Johnny, like Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers.
No, I'm Johnny Bravo.
Okay, sure thing. No.
Come on, man. 90s Cartoon Network.
90s Cartoon Network. Good lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
Johnny Bravo.
Salute to Abi. Dang late stream.
Yes. Oh man, I have Korean barbecue with the beat tomorrow. It's gonna be fucking lit.
Bruh. That's incredible. I mean, if you're gonna have Korean barbecue with him, then
Bro, it's gonna be fun.
I really can't, debate against that.
Oh,
Like,
God,
that's
dude.
very. I have to just tip my hat off to B for even, coming through with you. And of course, we've gone numerous times, right? So
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do Korean Grill House, like it's almost imperative you do that with friends. It's more of a social kind of thing to do, right? Am I right? Like,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, because like if you're gonna do that
You go
with like
alone to a
yourself,
Korean barbecue and you just look like a depressed person.
it looks
They
so
might give you
yeah.
free food because they feel sorry for you.
Yeah, they might hit you up with free soju because they feel bad. Yeah, like I would be so gutted if that was me, to be honest. But if you have to pick a scent for a Korean barbecue, like what would it be?
Aside from Korean barbecue, I
Yeah.
wouldn't wear anything to Korean barbecue. I want to enjoy the smell of beef.
Yeah, no, I mean, like with that being said, what would you wear? Like, would you wear like?
Barbecue one.
Yeah, there you go. Like, yeah, because like, what are you gonna do? Not go out with a fragrance? Because typically, if you're going to Korean barbecue place, more often than not, I think you're not just doing that night. You're probably gonna do some other shit, like maybe go out, go shopping, gamble, or I don't know. I would think. But if you're going out just to do that, that's also respectable. So okay. So shout outs. We have
Hey George, we're finally streaming when it's morning for you.
I know it's like it's half it's 10:30. I had a quite a late evening last night, so I'm still in my dressing gown.
That's fair.
But that's what you got with the impromptu streams.
What were you doing, George? Huh? Late evening.
It's a Saturday night.
It's the weekend too.
He was with women of the night.
Yeah.
My God.
What's your WOTD and WOTN? Huh? Woman of the night. Huh?
That's messed up, Tim.
Well, she was molecular one. That's what she was.
Did you go with Charlotte or Charlie?
He's
what's he doing?
Tim is presuming that you weren't wearing a scent for your night out and that you were with a woman of the night. And
listen, I didn't want to. I just wanted to come on this stream to hang out with my friends, not get like rapid abuse about my evening habits. Geez, give me a break, guys.
Dude, this is all Tim. Sorry, Johnny, because he becomes a different person in his tie-dye hoodie. He's no longer Timmy.
I'm Johnny.
He's Johnny. Yeah. I jokingly said Johnny Rico, if you guys know Starship Troopers. Yep. So there's that. You are Asian Casper Van Dien. Anyway, I see Oda Victor in the chat. I see FRAG-MENTAL in the chat.
Oh boy.
We're all here. So to a certain extent, we're all here.
Doctor Who himself.
Doctor Who himself.
I want to say this. I want to shout out two things. First of all, I just want to say, it's Armistice Day today. I'm wearing my red poppy. Yes. Because it's 100 years since the end of World War I. It's the 11th of November. It's Remembrance Sunday here in the UK, and I just wanted to give a shout out to all of the men and women who are in the armed forces. Thank you for protecting us and looking after us, and for paying so much to keep us safe. I just wanted to give that respect to everybody, especially on this day.
Yeah, so salute to the Commonwealth armed forces on this day, absolutely, without a doubt, which of course I'm in Canada. So
of course.
That's definitely an occasion. Like once I go out there, I'll be wearing a poppy as well. So shout out to them.
Very nice.
And I presume with like a rather like humanitarian statement like that, we jump into something political, and George will be now voting for the UKIP. I'm joking, but.
I wanted to, if I may also,
what's up?
Mention FRAG-MENTAL, right? I added him recently on Facebook because we're maybe not talking about doing a collab. Who knows, right? Who knows? But probably. Anyway, I do a little cheeky Facebook stalk because that's the polite thing to do when you've added people as a friend, and I see this guy, and he was in the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who playing a Time Lord.
Yeah, right? we know that.
You told me. I didn't know that. No, you didn't. You didn't know that.
No one told you, George. We knew this for like a month.
My mind was blown. I'm like, oh my God, I'm speaking to a Time Lord. What do I do? Like, geez, So FRAG-MENTAL, Not just a fantastic fragrance reviewer, but also a Time Lord. Absolutely incredible.
Also a Time Lord. And actually, if you guys want to tell us in the chat, if you have a preferred doctor or a favorite doctor, let us know. That's something I'm.
And it can't be me. It can't be me.
I mean, like in all seriousness, like who do you fuck with the most, George? You like a Matt Smith guy or Capaldi or I know I asked this.
I'm old school. I'm old school. You know, I'm old school.
Oh yeah.
I love Tom. I love Tom Baker.
Okay.
But if I'm honest, brutally honest about it, I really love Paul McGann, who did that one TV film, but he did tons and tons of audios, tons of audio dramas. He's legit. All right, you know,
there it is.
So there we go.
George, you should be the doctor according to Frag-Mental. That's
a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe I have before.
Be the doctor.
That would be incredible. And also,
I don't need to play the doctor. Go on. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, like I'm reading the chat furthermore. Another thing that Frag-Mental's asked. Did you see the Peter Jackson World War I doc? I have not, but that sounds absolutely incredible because you know Peter Jackson does good work.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that, guys? Any of you guys?
No. Man, I'm sort of like I need to get up to date with my films, but I'm sure he did something brilliant. You know.
Lovely. Also, Oda Victor, thanks for the invite, boys. My birthday's in a couple hours, and I'm cleaning the house, but listening to you. Well, happy birthday to Oda Victor, Mr. Oda Victor. Firstly, I just want to say,
happy birthday to you.
Like we're talking your birthday, fam. Like if you're receiving any birthday scents, like please let us know in the chat. And actually, I have a question for y'all, and it's not quite Christmas yet, but you know, for example, if you are having a birthday anytime soon and a loved one actually asks you for once, like this never happens to me, like what fragrance you want me to buy for you, and it's regardless, and say like the price point is under $500, like which fragrance would you want?
Damn, I want more family members like that. Jesus, under 500. Christ's sakes.
That's usually a question I would ask, to be honest. And I'm dead serious, by the way. Like, oh god, hashtag YOLO. But like, if you could have fragrance at that price point, so I believe George, that's maybe
£385.27.
Okay, yeah, okay. So what would you want, for example? Just wondering.
I think I know exactly what it is. I have to just check if it is.
Yeah, okay. So check your wish list. But Tim, if you could, what's on your top of your wish list right now that you'd want?
Okay, so I would get them to buy me a Clive Christian that maxed out the $500. I'll sell it back.
Yeah, so without selling it back, that's why I said 500. Something you genuinely want for under $500. What would you get?
See, I don't have a buy list right now. I'll just not have anything.
That's fair. That's fair. I thought about it, like what I would want, you know, because there's a lot of fragrances out there that I truly love, but I knew if I were to review them, they would absolutely get destroyed because the MSRP is ridiculous, and I think there's other offerings that I could actually get at that price point that I would prefer, that I could potentially.
No. Percival.
You're an idiot. You know this, right?
Oh man.
Oh god. Okay, so can you explain why, Tim? Why would you want it? Please.
Oh, it's a great scent.
Because it's what? I didn't hear you.
It's a great scent.
I didn't hear you.
It's a really great scent. Of course, there's the sponsor part. So it's a great scent.
Oh my god.
Okay, so someone's willing to admit it. I'm joking. All right. So with that being said,
world am I in right now?
You always have to name drop it. Okay. This is why
okay. A good honest thought on Percival. I've tried it, and it's just, to me, it just smells very depressing.
You guys do realize
that's my honest opinion of it. It smells depressing. As in, I don't see what anyone else is talking about. I don't see the quality or anything. It's just I feel like they could have put it in a Dunhill Icon like bottle, and I would have believed it from a Dunhill Icon. Okay. Not that it smells like Dunhill Icon, but like it feels like it doesn't belong in Parfums de Mali. Maybe it just I don't hate Parfums de Mali. I just think it's a failed attempt at a fresh fragrance from them. You know, like I like a lot of their other stuff, but I just don't like Percival.
Okay, so you do. We have to acknowledge Johnny right now, because Johnny or Timmy,
No, it's Johnny.
Right now he's Johnny. was just looking for a loophole to just bring Percival in. Let's just say that. So you're always looking for that loophole, Johnny. So I don't know. I'm sometimes I'm through with you, but it's okay. We still love you. But here's what we're gonna like. If I could have one fragrance for my birthday, if I had a pick under 500, I think this is under 500 US. Like right now, just something I genuinely want off the top of my head is probably, and I'm surprised I haven't copped it myself, is Bois de Portugal by Creed. I would probably say that. I think that'd be good. Something I genuinely want that I wouldn't resell for.
Well, I've got mine. I've got mine. I just had to check the price point, and that's Xerjoff 400.
Oh wait, it's Xerjoff. Okay, can you proceed?
Xerjoff 400.
Oh, 400. Lovely. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's outrageous, actually. I mean, I think I mentioned to you recently, Manny, that like the amount of quality that they can put in those bottles is just a bit, it's outrageous, really. You know, especially like I really love Kobe and Neo and all those. And the Oud collection is like almost intimidating. It's preposterously good. Yeah. But I smell Xerjoff 400, and that's kind of like everything that I'd ever want in like a really, really high-priced, sophisticated sort of winter fragrance. You know, it's a bit bombastic, and I couldn't wear it all the time. But I really, really appreciate it.
It's a bit ostentatious to wear something like that daily, unless you are
Tim in Las Vegas.
Extra. But
which Tim is?
Yeah, I mean Tim. Yeah, in Nevada. Yeah, there it is.
We're in Feb in July.
I think Tim would probably.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny, would you wear Feb de la Sierras in July?
Would I, or did I already?
Yeah, implying he hasn't already.
Oh my god, he does. That's messed up.
Yeah.
So I just got from your response that you do. So it's okay. You don't have to answer. I'm joking, of course. But yeah. No, we do have some more questions here. Thanks again for tuning in. Love your costumes, Manny and Timmy. I guess not George. Yikes. Casey Chung, thank you. We appreciate that. Quick question. Your favorite your favorite Montel. So I'll go around. George, do you have a favorite Montel? If so, what is it?
Man, they're a tricky one. Actually, I really like because I've got a Mancera. I've actually got Roses Vanille, and they're kind of like the same company, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Roses Vanille. Because I low-key like feminine kind of flowery vanilla fragrances. I really like Dolce & Gabbana, the one for her, but I don't know if I could feel comfortable with buying that. So Roses Vanille is good. But if we're gonna go like Montal, I think it's probably going to be the coffee one.
Intense Cafe?
Intense Cafe, yeah, that's like, I mean, that's no kidding, isn't it? No kidding, that is intense.
Intense Cafe, yeah, it's a lovely one. I used to own it.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I think you really have to be a coffee lover who's willing to rock it on a pungent level to own that fragrance.
Well, I have Espresso Royale, you know, and I gave that a high rating in my... Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I can see you own it. So like that's a lovely pick. Tim, what would you pick if you could own a Montal? I know it's not a brand that you're remotely an enthusiast of, but like which Montal would you own?
I just don't remember how any of the Montal I tried smell like anymore.
Okay, so I'm going to presume it's also because of how monotonous the labeling is. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, like, there's no Montal in Vegas, and the only time I smelled any Montal was in, Beverly Hills Perfumery. That was like half a year ago.
Okay, so with that being said, like, can I at least get your thoughts on the Montal brand? They do a lot of ouds, and they seem to be attacking the Middle Eastern market really well, or anyone who likes like ouds.
I think they're the same concept as Swiss Arabian, where they try to make oud a more westernized. With a westernized approach, and they're trying to target like those audience, and it's working for them.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that because like I think there's like going westernized oud, which is like exclusives and designer level. I think there's Montal, and I think there's actual oud, and I think Montal and Mancera are in that sweet spot in the middle. I do have like some questions for that brand.
They did really well in store. When I worked at Selfridges, like they were really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they did really well. But a lot of customers from like Saudi Arabia or the Eastern countries, they weren't that sold on it.
Yeah.
They were more like interested in like Roja. And sorry to say, they were really, really interested in Udis Fahan by Christian Dior.
Oh, yeah,
but you know,
our favorite.
yes. yeah. Well,
yeah. Well, well. Okay.
Well,
No, okay,
yeah. Well, it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that would sell a lot of bottles. A lot of bottles. That
No,
one.
I believe it. I mean, that's why it's still around. So
Definitely.
yeah. About Montel though, and Mancera. Like, if I had to pick one favorite wise, like one would I own? I think it kind of does form like it does fill a role in my fragrance rotation if I had to pick one. I would say Sicily from Mancera, which is just a big lasting citrus scent, super synthetic, but it's super juicy, almost fruit juice like, and it performs, which is pretty cool. Usually I want my citruses to be really tame. Like, I don't want them to be too crazy. So that's a world I would be stepping into per se. But that's what I would have to pick. My thoughts on Mancera and Montal as a whole, not for me, but they definitely have a market. So shout outs to them. Let's
They're doing their thing.
Yeah, without a doubt, definitely. Like, they're doing their thing. Yes. So we have Oda Victor. He said, "I'll go super basic and ask for Armani Ambras Eccentrico or MFK BR540. I'm going to presume any concentration of that scent is cool for you, Victor." We have Madi Dioum from Senegal, West Africa. Shout outs to the Senegalese out there. Entente Cafe, shame the shop does not have it. My local shop has an 11/11 sale going. Cool. Nice. Black, I would remember my sample breaking in my pocket and jeans smelling like dank oud at your house, Timmy or Johnny. Good Lord, I cannot believe someone just broke a sample in their pocket like that. And it was a Montel. That would be such hell, to be honest. So that's incredible. Johnny, how do you feel about that? Like, if that were to break in your pocket?
Oh no, I was there. He
know
broke into my house, so I was really glad it wasn't me.
Okay. You're glad it wasn't you. That's fair. Do something not boring, please. No offense. Amy Wilson.
Cheers, Amy, for that. Really uplifting.
Cheers. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. A B, has anyone tried Mancera Red Tobacco or whatever it was? You know, appreciate, like, to be honest, I appreciate the offering from Mancera, like the fact that they're willing to, you know, do somewhat accessible tobacco. But usually when I pursue tobacco fragrances, I want something that's even more accessible than that. Like, I'll just rock, you know, sweet tobacco spirits. I'll rock Puravan, Naxos. I'm pretty basic with my tobaccos. Has anyone tried red tobacco? Johnny or George? Anyone?
I think one time.
Tobacco.
Okay. Wait, George, you have not?
I think one time. I mean, I've smelt pretty much all of them because you know, sort of had to. But like, it would usually be because I was trying to find something for a customer rather than just smelling it for myself. Yeah. Tobacco, I like. Yeah, I'm pretty much like you. I'm quite basic.
With that.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, the only stretch that I'd really go for is I really like Tobacco Vanille.
I think that's very basic and crowd pleasing, to be honest. Yeah, because like, here's the thing about tobacco. You like this is just my perspective with tobacco. You want to go as basic as possible because I don't want people to think that I smoke or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's like, and it's no offense to smokers out there. Like, it's just like, I don't want to perpetuate.
Pleasant choice, yeah.
That's just me. So like, if I can have it mixed in with a bunch of sweets and maybe some, if you want to give off a cherry cigar type of vibe, but like it smells like a fragrance still at the end of the day, I think that's good. So that's just how I feel about that. I see FRAG-MENTAL loves red tobacco, so salute. I know. Okay, it's funny because I'll stop talking about red tobacco in a bit. I just want to say something. My friend's wife, she said it was a scrubber, straight up.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I didn't like it, and like apparently she doesn't. I'm gonna presume that a few people don't as well. So I just skipped it as far as a potential acquisition. Robes08, here I am editing at 5 a.m. and see live feed. Damn, let's listen in. Mark, I'm just gonna give you the link if you want in.
Oh my God, Mark, yes.
Yeah, so like just mark Robes away
Fragrance Apprentice and Fragrance Guru at the same time. Can you believe
and
it?
Imagine Scent and CascadeScents. So it's the scents versus the fragrances, if that makes any sense. All right. So that's interesting. And Tim just sent me something in private. I can't breathe right now. I just can't spam that right now. But we're looking at some other comments. Thank you again, Mark, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And if you want in, feel free. Same with you, Chris. I messaged you the link on Facebook. Ovix fragrance. Very good question. Richwood or Pico Valladama? I said Richwood back in the day when I first tested it at Jay Royal's house. However, I own Pico Valladama now mainly because they gifted it to me. And no bias, if I had to pick one in retrospect, I'd probably say Pico Valladama now. And it's not because I randomly got gifted it. Like, it truly appeals to me more. I have not been reaching for my Chanel Les Exclusives as often because of the reformulations. So as a result, to have something like this that's a modern day aldehydic fragrance that leans floral, that I traditionally love, that I can easily stock up on. Like, I have to say this. Richwood's amazing at what it is because, I mean, it's a high quality woody, scent that you would expect out of Xerjoff, but I feel like to do something like Pico Valladama, I think is actually more rare nowadays. So that's why I prefer it. Have any of you guys tried Richwood or Pico Valladama?
Fragrance View said it sucks and it's low quality, so I believe him.
Fragrance View?
Yeah. Peter hates Richwood.
Yeah. No,
it smells like a box of magazines glued together.
Okay, so shout out to Fragrance View. Like, the guys, he's so next. He's so next. I invited him on too, like, if he's free. I
actually do. I like Pete's. Like, me and Pete have similar tastes, so I'm keen on believing you.
Oh, you think? I mean, here's the thing. I would say you guys have similar tastes, but there's a lot of, like, I feel like your tolerance is a lot higher than his as far as what you're willing to own and what he isn't. So, like,
but he's like really deep into it, isn't he? So he's like,
no, fair play to him too, because like he loves, like, and I say with all due respect, like, he's definitely an ingredient whore, and if you're going to be consumer, you might as well be an informed one, and he definitely is. So, and he's creating a brand, so like, shout outs to him, and I'm sure we're going to cop that. Do you guys have any thoughts on Pico Valladama, or have heard anything about it?
I don't know this one.
Okay, so it was an exclusive to the airport at St. Petersburg, Russia, until they made it a general release and put it into the 1717 Stone Label collection. And I have one of the first. I have one of the first 250 bottles. So that's really cool that was gifted to me. Review comes out today. So there's that. Yeah. So it's funny that Ovix asked that. So thank you for asking. It was a decent lead in for me. Moving on, try Nikolai's Cuba Intense, sweet and dry, sweet tobacco, licorice, anise. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. Adam, you're such an ardent, commenter for a few years now for a few of us. So thank you for tuning in. Abi says he has to try that. Cool. Mark, I'm doing the same. So apparently, Chris is also editing. Okay, whatever. This is hella boring, and I'm bored. Oh, bye, unsubscribe. Have a nice life. Not. See, I wouldn't want to be Amy Wilson. I'm gonna presume that Amy is not a troll. I'm gonna presume she's not a troll, or he.
I just messaged saying, Amy, who hurt you?
That's intense. I love the what's it called? I love the dialect as far as text you're choosing to use as well. Very like.
I actually really like Amy. I think she has the most interesting comments so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really livening up my day.
Oh wait. So Adam just dropped something. Watch poor Amy. That's super interesting, but we love you. You can stay. Great. Okay. So now I know what Robes 08 feels like because his streams are typically like this, by the way. Casey Chunk does place my order Montal patchouli leaves and Montal honey. Wow, intense. Nice. Also, Sorry.
Saying Mark's like so nice, but like some of the he's like one of the nicest people in the game. But some of the comments that you can get on live, it's just like, dude, what the?
Oh
Don't do
yeah,
that to Mark,
standard.
dude.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you're that popular, I guess. You know, you get all this stuff. Is Mark coming on actually?
I know Chris is gonna come on, but I don't think Mark is. Mark is editing right now, but he's more than welcome, of course.
Of course, it's a free for all here.
Okay. So, Jacked and Juicy sequence. Scent of the day equals Amouage Jubilation 25. So that's a OG favorite of Robes 08 and myself.
Yeah.
That was my first video ever to do that. And obviously that fragrance means a lot to me. So I have a question for you guys. What is your scent of the day?
Man.
I mean,
Right,
it's 3 a.m. here.
I got
I'm
up
not
like,
wearing crap now.
how long has this stream been? I got up like 10 minutes before the stream. I haven't even.
Dead ass. The stream has been fairly short. Like we only started doing like half an hour ago. But you have a scent of the day, George. I know you just woke up.
I'll have to go and pick one. Let me just go to my cabinet. You'll see me live on air pick my scent of the day. How often do you get to see that happen? Jeez, just be a second. Hang on.
I have two scents of the day right now. One is Elevator Music by Off-White X by Rado, and the other one is Tyrannosaurus Rex by Zoologist Perfumes.
Yay!
Testing both. Tim, you can settle down, or should I say Johnny? So there's that. Amy Wilson, I'm from UK, thus where the Queen lives, and I would know because she followed me on YouTube and Instagram. So whatever, build a bridge and get over it. Bye, Felicia. she hit me with the Friday. That's incredible. That's amazing.
Actually, I need Amy to be subscribed to my channel. I would love to see her comments.
Oh yeah, no, this is incredible.
Video. I think it'll be a ray of sunshine.
Yo, Amy, actually, feel free to email me here at CascadeScents
you're the best.
gmail.com, and I would love for you to jump on stream with us. I think this would be really cool. If you are not afraid to talk that shit on live stream, I would.
Oh god! Turns out she's the queen all along.
Oh yeah, that'd be hard. KC Chung, I'm still wearing Guerlain Homme since last night. This stuff is strong. So that's the Eau de Parfum Intense of Guerlain Homme, I presume. I would think. Yeah. So that's a good fragrance. I still own it. That one, it feels a weird, if it like fills a weird sweet spot for me as far as usage, because I just feel like it's too strong that I dislike using it for like daytime occasions. It's definitely nighttime fragrance. And come a nighttime fragrance, I typically want something that's more crowd pleasing if I'm going out. So I haven't been reaching for it a lot, but it's still a lovely perfume. And if you really like Guerlain, especially on a more budget friendly level, it's a really good fragrance. Gunmetal 24, scent of the day, sampling all 4 new Ariege L'Adore at the same time. That's a lot of fragrance right there. Judd the Stud, ooh, fix me a coffee in Mark's honor and might spritz some Lamal. It'll be like we're having a cuppa together. Okay, so there you go.
So cute.
Now, if you guys are a fan of those 90s sweet
you guys are grabbing coffee? I need a drink.
I'm ready. I'm ready to reveal my scent of the day if it's all good.
Yes, please.
No, George, it's too late.
Oh, I knew it. It's kind of like where we are in the UK. It's actually very rainy and it's kind of cold. It's kind of mild. We still haven't had frost yet or anything like that. We've had 1 frost in the morning, but right now it's kind of like still 7-8 degrees in the morning, but cool. So I'm gonna go for a fan favorite, one that everybody knows. I'm going to go for Kisses Rain by Renier Perfumes.
You realize that's only a fan favorite because you made it one?
Guilty as charged.
Okay. But, you know, it's because, like, it's a lovely perfume. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a fan, and I would want a presentation of it. It's cool because, like, I feel like anytime I hear of that fragrance, like, people can't help but bring your name up as well. Like, and I'm not saying that to flatter you. It's just something that, like, I've noticed, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, well, that's nice. You know,
Yeah.
it is nice.
Like dead ass, like at a sauce, like earlier this year, like if that
Yep.
fragrance got brought up, your review got brought up too, because that's where they found out. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I think. Well, I don't know. I think that's.
Yeah, I'd say that's sweet.
I'd rather it be that than I'd rather be remembered for something like that than, I don't know, the Parfums Vintage video. You know, so I'm glad that people actually, when they think of This Is Rain or one of my videos, it's a nice one that has a happy ending.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so that's good. That's good. I'm really glad, and I'm glad that I brought it into people's lives. So
Yeah, I mean, like it's super flattering if you're able to, you know, get someone interested in something you're actually passionate for. I think that's lovely. But at the end of the day, like, you know, if you want to play the critic as well, which I think us three do, I think it's also nice to tell people like this is honestly what I think, albeit negative about something, and you're enthused to bring that up to the public to begin with. So, for example, you mentioned Parfums Vintage, and speaking of that, Johnny, what was your last video that you dropped? What was the last video you dropped, Johnny?
I dropped a Parfums Vintage video.
Okay, and before you actually do a full review or consider it, what are your thoughts on Parfums Vintage? I want people to know this.
My thoughts is if it doesn't get at least 3,000 views, I won't do another video on them.
Okay, and what do you actually think about the fragrances, Tim? Conceptually,
I mean, like the fragrances themselves irrelevant to the amount of views it gets, so I don't think about it.
No. Like, what do you like? Are you a fan? Yes or no? Overall,
if it gets a lot of views, I'm a big fan of them.
Johnny, answer the question. Would you buy these with your own money?
He is such a modern YouTuber. It disgusts me.
Would you buy this with your own money?
With my own money, it's a tough question. I mean, if I still want free stuff from them, if I say yes, then I probably won't get free stuff.
Okay, so there you go. That's all. That's the only answer you guys need
right now. What the hell is going on, Timmy?
That's incredible. Okay,
it's Johnny.
Okay, so that's all I needed. That's all I needed. Just saying.
No, okay. Honest opinion, I only really like one, and that's the Vanilla Intense, because I'm a gourmand lover, and having a thick vanilla in an Aventus DNA is quite nice, actually, to smell.
I can imagine.
That's the only one I really care about.
And George, like, I don't know if you personally do this. I know Tim, I don't think does. When it comes to those layered style fragrances that they've been dropping, like, I think most people are like gonna own Aventus anyway. So if you're gonna own Aventus, wouldn't you layer it with with a vanilla fragrance you already own too?
Hey, you know something? That's given me an idea. I might try putting Eau de Michons as a base and then Aventus.
Oh God, that sounds so extra, but okay, that's respect. All right, so that's another one I'd say George is definitely known for. Like I'd say if like George had signature scents that like I think of him for, they're Citiver, Rain, Eau de Michon, like those three without a doubt.
Yeah.
And if I could say the same thing.
My only issue with Eau de Michons is that like it's so hard to get into the US, and I felt really bad about that because like it's dirt cheap in the UK, but and Europe, but US that's difficult. So I felt a bit sort of like miffed about that.
You know what,
George, you need to send us all a bottle.
Yeah, imagine that if George.
I need to get a drink of water. Just
dude, get your water, fam. It's all good. But since we're on that topic, as far as like signature scents, like I mean, there's a numerous amount of scents like that Tim's introduced to us throughout the years as far as what is unique to his channel. So like I kind of want to speak about that. And one of them specifically, I think that is really cool that you are definitely known for, Tim. Is from the L'Atelier de Givenchy. So Cuir Blanc is definitely a Johnny/Tim fragrance. And I got to smell this in Moscow when I was stranded there in April. And it was just it's a super lovely, like slightly like it's a leathery, musky fragrance, but for the most part, musky and just comes off super clean. So
I think this is a fun game actually. Let's actually do this because what do I think of? What fragrances do I think of when I see CascadeScents? What fragrances do I think of when I see ImagineScents? And we can do that sort of a round table thing.
Okay.
And you in the comments, what do you see when you think of us three?
No, I'm writing that down as a video idea. You guys can't do it.
Yeah, we're doing it right now. It's live, baby.
I need content for tomorrow anyway, so that's my tomorrow video.
Okay, so Timmy's out here because he's always uploading content, so he's just trying to like garner ideas and fair play. The grind is hard, and then there's George and I who are just like chilling. So that's cool. But about that, let's go around the table. I mean, actually, here, I'll make this easy because like. I mentioned one scent that I think of Tim for like most notably that I don't see anyone else say. But I think it's interesting if we were to say a fragrance that I think that we're most notable for as well ourselves. So if I had to pick one, I think for me it's probably like I would probably have to say Gypsy Water. For the most part, it's very popular amongst the beauty community and a lot of women's lifestyle communities. However, in the FRAG-Com, which has a very specific taste for the most part, which is big performance, crowd pleasing, and masculine, of course, it doesn't get a lot of talk. And usually if it does, it's because I start it. So I would say that's one that I think of for myself. About that, though, let's go around. Tim, do you have a fragrance that you think of for yourself? Do you have a fragrance that you think of for Fragrance Apprentice? And do you have a fragrance that you think of for me specifically?
Fragrance I think of for, let's just go with Manny first. I think of Gypsy Water for sure. I think Lyric Man. I think of Jubilation 25. I think of what else do I think of? I think of Pure Havan. I think.
What's one that you bought because of me? I know there is one.
I think of Gucci Chrome 2. That's the one I bought because of you. What else do I think? I think of the Labo exclusive because you're the only one who talks about them and no one else cares about them really, but you. Other ones is I think of all the Byrados, like elevator views that you keep talking about, like everyone else can get it. And let's see what else.
And everyone else can't get it. That's a thing. Whoops.
Chanel, all the EDTs. See, it's just a lot of fragrance that comes to mind when it comes to Manny.
Salute. Thank you.
A lot of stuff.
I appreciate it.
It shows I really watch your channel.
Thank you.
See that? I'm a good friend. George, when I think, okay, now George, your turn. When it comes to George, I think of Dior Parfum, Pineapple Vintage Intense, and Pineapple Vintage Noir.
This is messed up, man.
These fallen fragrances.
He also really likes Dior Sauvage, the original one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's about some of the only scents he really enjoys. The rest is trash to him.
That's fucked up.
Well, it's because Tim really watches my channel. He can obviously see the reverse psychology going on in my videos.
Yes.
Yep.
If I didn't watch your channel, I wouldn't have known any of that. See that?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I did already mention Kisses Rain, to be fair. So there's that.
Yeah.
But, and you mentioned Eau de Méchants.
It's like good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Another one with Manny is Portrait of a Manny.
Portrait of a Manny. Yes.
Oh man. Oh, there's another one actually. Adam's just said from the found Ferragamo Womble.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Jeremy got on that more than I did. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you got on.
He got there in the end.
You got on it ASAP for me when we were talking on the phone about it, despite you not talking about it yet. But I remember when you told me, like, if this was in a different model, it would do killer numbers. But because it's a Ferragamo, it's because its marketing sucks and the bottle sucks. Like, you just hit discounters ASAP. So that's kind of what happened.
I mean, it did well. I mean, I think that Jeremy helped it along, and I helped it along a little bit with the top 10. But Jeremy did a lot for that fragrance, and
maybe on an online level. But I was thinking more of a mainstream level because
it's a triple A
fragrance when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. But yeah, George, well, like if you were to pick something from Imagine Scent, like what comes to mind when it comes to Johnny?
Well, like, oh, listen, I'm gonna say Manny, you're easier. I'm gonna say because for you.
Oh, you don't watch my channel, Jesus Christ! Hurts. I am so hurt beyond repair, George. Oh my God, I feel so betrayed.
Right, to me isn't necessarily fragrances.
No, George, no.
Okay, Johnny, hang on. Okay,
Johnny,
George.
don't have a paddy. Johnny, don't have a paddy. Just calm down. We can talk through this, all right? Me and Johnny do really get on. I tell him secrets about upcoming videos that nobody knows about. You know, me and Johnny are good. You know.
Okay.
No, you told Timmy. Johnny's pissed.
Oh right. No! Oh man!
Oh man! Is this exciting enough for you, Amy? No, I'd say that for Manny, like the whole Byredo line. I think Mark said that the whole Byredo line. I can totally see that. I mean, Jerome effing eats. I can see with Manny in general, actually.
Jerome.
Jerome. G Water, G Mountain, and you know what? D&G the one.
Oh yeah, because I won a contest with it.
Yeah, you know, I get that a little bit, and you know, I mean, I know that I did the Duetta thing, but I actually see a lot of Duetta with you. I remember I watched one of your winter videos, and then Golden Boy pops up, and I was like, "Huh, yeah, what are you doing here?"
I mean, I have to have it.
That was quite a shock.
And not like, thanks for thinking of me there, but like, of course, I got that shit from you. But the thing is with Duetto is, it's interesting because like they're predominantly known for like they have these very distinct. I mean, they take it seemingly they take Tom Ford fragrances and just use different opening notes.
Pretty much.
But
they do it so well.
They do it well. Yeah, like they're one of the better people at that style. However, you can't own Tuscan leather nowadays. You can't.
No.
Like you have to, it has to be La Yukuam Puram. It has to be Golden Boy. It has to be Godolphin. Because if you want a fragrance like that, you want it to be brazen. And Tuscan leather is no longer that. So for me,
it's true. Golden Boy smells more like Tuscan leather than Tuscan leather does now.
Yeah, and it's predominantly because like you have to hunt it down with your nose. But like I think that we all have a Tuscan leather clone here. Am I right, everyone? Like,
oh yeah, I've got like 3. Standard.
Even
ombre leather is like Tuscan leather clone. They clone themselves.
Yeah, like ombre. It's cool that they brought it back and did a more budget-friendly presentation with it too. I'll give Estee Lauder that because of the fact that I expected that to get retroed, put into a Bois Marocain type bottle, sell for that kind of price.
Yep.
And what was once a limited edition becomes a limited edition. I thought they were going to do something like that. If that were to come back, or if anything were to, I thought they were going to do that. Such an Estee Lauder move. However, they did something else. Like this is unprecedented in my opinion, that they brought back a fragrance and made it cheaper for the consumer and maybe slightly reformulated, but not really. So it's just like, I have to tip my hat off to them because I never do. And that was cool. That being said, as far as Estee Lauder companies, it's funny because like they are seen as like this kind of draconian, like, you know, acquirer of our favorite brands, and all of a sudden like our stuff is no longer the same, or like they no longer do things in a manner that is true to that brand or was true to that brand. But there's this fragrance by Labo that just dropped, Tonka 25.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering what you guys think of that fragrance, or if you've got your nose on it to begin with.
Oh man, Tonka 25.
Yeah, that just came out like a month ago.
No, I'm not thinking of a Labo. I know the new Byredo. I've smelled the latest Byredo very recently.
11th hour?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
I have very strong thoughts about it. It's over here.
Oh, really? Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I thought you've got to give me a break, because it's like, it's that minimal style, but it's like they're pushing the boundaries of their own rules.
Okay, that's fair. Like that, right. Like that's totally fair. Like I have a major gripe with it though. But
really,
yeah, like the opening's on point, obviously.
Oh yeah.
There's just no bass. Like I feel like there's hardly anything there after like 8 hours. So for a fragrance that I thought was targeted towards fall, and it had like maybe at most like summer to fall type performance, I thought was just like kind of unacceptable.
Oh, well, you see, I didn't get that. I got spring.
Oh, I mean,
I got late spring.
some sort of transition season. That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like that's totally fair. However, besides a spicy opening, I didn't get much else. Like it was definitely characteristic of Byredo. But I really thought that there was a lot of things there that could have helped its opening ease into more of a stronger base, a musky one, maybe.
Sure.
Like Byredo is known to use juniper berries and everything. I thought that it could have helped in this fragrance. I thought that would have been lovely. But yeah. I'm glad you got your nose on it. Tim, have you got your nose on 11th hour or Tonka 25?
I got my nose on Tonka 25. It's okay.
It's just okay.
It's just okay.
Okay. And from what I understand, Labo is not a brand that you guys like fancy too much. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
I think that the Santal one's great. Rose is so lovely. I mean, that's ageless. That's Rose 31 is ageless because like that was huge when like Hero was about. You know, that was like 8 years now. Rose 31, and I smelt it literally the other day, and I just thought that's still not aged. You know, it's still unique, and it's like if they release that today, it'd still be a banger. So massive respect for the Labo, but I think they're a little bit of a one-hit wonder.
Because Santal 33 is so transcendental, nothing else is. Is that correct?
No, I mean, like, I think that Rose 31 is their one true hit.
Really? For you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rose 31's up there, don't get me wrong. But I think, you know how, like, when it comes to, we all know cameras here, but say if we're going to specifically speak with just focal lengths, you should own a 16 to 35, you should own a 24 to 70, and maybe a nifty 50 or something like that. But when it comes to the Labo, there's definitely a trinity that most people feel like you should own, and that is Santal 33, Rose 31, and Bergamot 22.
I thought that
and to be honest, when you say these things, I'm not shocked. The fact that like maybe Rose 31 is the one that's the most transcendental for you as far as maybe both the mainstream and online talks. I know Santal 33 is a hella like amazing seller, obviously, because like a lot of people in the mainstream are fucking with it. But it's so polarizing amongst the frag.com because of how minimalist it is. I think that's what Labo is good at, obviously. So a lot of their fragrances.
I'm into that. I'm into that.
Yeah. Which is fair. Like I have like maybe 3 redundant releases from them. I have Gaiac 10, I have another 13, and I have Santal 33, and like I would use them for the exact same like occasions and whatnot. I just like them. Maybe it's because it evokes that modernist, minimalist style that I'm a fan of, and they perform fairly well. So I think they tick off a lot of the boxes that new consumers want. But maybe for the connoisseur, maybe for like Tim, maybe for you,
I'll say this.
I don't think that they're for you, to be honest.
Right. I'll say this. I guess the problem with me is Santal and Bergamot. There's many different fragrances that I could go to get the same thing.
Yes.
Rose 31 is 100% unique. I can't get anything else like that anywhere.
I agree with that. Okay, so
and that's the thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Like
I've got so many options with Santal fragrances, sandalwood fragrances, Bergamot fragrances. But Rose 31, I'm not even a big rose lover, but I love the one that Kurjan did for Guerlain. I own it.
Rose Barbare.
Rose Barbare. I think that's really unique. But Rose 31 is even better than that. It's so niche and it's so unique. So that's my thing, my vibe.
No, that's fair. And it's funny because Johnny and I were having this conversation earlier about how I feel like you might not like Rose, but there's one Rose for everyone. Period.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And for you, it's Rose 31. For Tim, I know it's Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. And Kazemi by House of Matriarch. So there's always going to be this like rose that just appeals to you. And when it comes to bergamot fragrances, like like big opening bergamot style fragrances or sandalwood fragrances, I feel like those are never typically panned amongst most communities in fragrances. So like no one down talks that style note typically. You know, I don't think I know anyone who hates sandalwood, for example. And if you do, I think you're out of your mind. But
That's silly, you know, it's such a versatile note.
yeah, it's such a versatile note. Very cozy, very magnanimous if you want it to be. However, it's just
You can do a lot with it.
yeah, like I feel like in the mainstream it's been relegated to something that's a little bit more furthermore evocative of minimalism.
I think it's because mainstream don't understand what sandalwood actually is and how it's actually utilized as a note. I think that's just consumer ignorance.
I mean, yeah. Like that's fair. Like some people think that like all they need is Santal 33 and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is a big pungent sandalwood for the most part. But when I think sandalwood, I think of elegance, coziness, you know, things like that. And I think that's typically how I want it done. I think Johnny, you would agree too, right? Like, would you want your sandalwood to be big in your face, or would you want it to be, you know, more, you know, cozy and elegant? Because I feel like that's the.
Sorry, I just gotta get my laptop charger. Hang on.
Yeah, no problem. But I also think this is why maybe you guys like Sacred Wood so much, because it is a big sandalwood fragrance, but at the same time, it's not as like, let's see, it's a little bit more luxurious, I guess, than like a Santal 33. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm. It's rich. It smells close to a Mysore sandalwood, natural. Okay. Although it doesn't smell exactly like it, but if you smell Mysore sandalwood, it has a lot of similarities to it.
Yeah. I mean, Mysore sandalwood, of course, is not cheap. So there's that.
No, not at all.
I see Robes08 chilling. He's talking about Labo. Oh, thank you for talking about Labo in the chat. I love that brand. Of course, we were just talking about it, and I don't think you're the only one in this chat because I see a lot of other viewers watching. But I mean, feel free to comment, guys. Say hi. I'm here. Hey, I just commented too, so feel free to ask us questions if you'd like. That goes for you too, Mark, and hopefully you can jump on stream with us if you are up for it. I know you said you were editing. And Chris, wherever the hell you're at, you know, feel free to jump in too. However, if you guys have questions, let us know. We have a lot of talking points, to be fair. There's a lot of things that we could or will talk about. I see George popped a question about us and our fragrances. B has a really good answer for Tim, and that is Coco Blanc. And now we have Chris Wilkinson in the house. All right. So, Mr. FRAG-MENTAL, I cannot hear you, by the way.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay? Hi, Chris.
Oh, this is insane. We got FRAG-MENTAL in the building. All right. How are you, sir?
Good to join you, boys. I've seen a lot of your lives, so to be in one is I feel honored. Thank you.
Oh, I'm
honored. It is the first time you ever had Chris on.
Yeah. No, this is so cool.
Hey, Tim.
Oh, Tim's having a Corona right now.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I'm having
what else am I supposed to drink at like 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, in desert. Yeah. So look, we have a lot of like representation right now because there's Canada, there's UK, and we have US in the building. So just trying to hold it down for fragrance in the morning right now, which is the morning for all of us, because I believe it's just maybe 11:15 over there.
Yep.
Across the pond. Cool.
It is.
So Chris, and this is something I want to ask you to get to know you a bit more for. Cool. About this, because we were just sending each other, for example, like what are we very aware of as far as what we like from what we know each other for. Are there scents out there that you've spoken about, or that, you know, maybe you've yet to speak about, that you want to be the most known for within the fragrance community?
Interesting. Well, I always say that my favorite at the moment is Roger's Enigma.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I presume.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was, I mean, part of the reason for that might just be because I smelled that quite early on in getting into fragrances, and because it's such a strong scent, it just drew me in straight away. So I think partly it's the memory of being swept away by such a complex scent when I hadn't smelt that many complex scents before it. So beautiful scent, yeah. So I always say Enigma's my favorite.
Okay, lovely.
It's going to be hard to beat.
I was going to say about Enigma Puram, or just from that line of Roja parfums in general. Do you have another favorite from that line, by any chance?
I love the amber oud. Is nice. Is very nice. Yeah, I think risque is a good one. Nice and complex.
Nice.
51.
Lovely.
I only have a bottle of Enigma, so I need to. I've been. I smell a lot of them when I go into Selfridges, but I need to pick up another. The problem is just buying the bottles. They look nice, but they're just damn expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, honestly, it's like, I mean, it's a super ostentatious thing to have, because a lot of what you're buying into is the presentation, the advertising, and whatnot. And I wonder, because I feel like there's maybe only one other brand who does this, and that's from Bikilian. How much would Roja Parfums be if they were to consistently push an official refill presentation as well? Like, how much less would they be? So that's something I always want to ask, maybe myself, just in my head, like, just because, like, to stomach buying, Amber Oud or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's such a big ask, in my opinion. Once you get to that price point, would you say that's maybe your expensive fragrance?
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if I'll ever buy another one as expensive as that. But it was a little treat to myself. I thought I owed it to myself, because I always mention it as being my favorite. I thought I need to have a bottle. I knew it was going to pop up in a few lists, so I wanted to be able to show the bottle, rather than saying this is my favorite of all time and have this crappy little decant.
I'm a huge advocate of actually having the bottle, because if you don't, like, and you're ranking it high, do you really love it? That's what I ask myself in my head when I see a creator do something like that and they just spam a sample. And I'm like, well, if you haven't gotten it yet, like, why should I? That's how I feel, as someone who's trying to be sold something as a consumer.
And I paid full retail for that one as well, because I was waiting for it to come up in groups to see if I could get a cheap deal, and it just wasn't coming up. And then I bought it full retail, and then there you go. There's loads of partials of Enigma coming up in the groups.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I'd be red personally. But now we know your priciest fragrance. We know mine, which is Pico Valladama by Xerjoff. However, I don't know George's and I don't know Tim's. Can you guys tell us your priciest fragrance that you currently own?
The priciest fragrance, I would say anything but House of Nature. $330 for 50 ml is pretty pricey.
That's about $660 per ml US, and that is
very pricey.
I have got.
I always use coupons to buy mine though, so I never paid for any of them full price. I always, like, she has sales often, so I always like wait for sales.
Lovely, yes, and that's almost compulsory if you're going to be an enthusiast within this game. Is that you almost have to bargain hunt to a certain extent.
You look for deals when you can when you buy this many fragrances.
Yeah, even if you're doing well, 6 figures a year, 401k. This lifestyle will break you. So
eventually it will.
Yeah, the Rog is the only one I've paid full retail for so far. Everything else has been either partials or discounted.
Partials, that's a good way to go too. I definitely respect that. I've got George.
Yes, I've got a super rare 250 milliliter bottle of Mitza.
Oh, that's badass.
And I got it for free. I got it for nothing, even though
you told me.
Who did you mug for that one then, George?
Christian Dior himself, really. I mean,
wow.
What did I mug? I sold. I did a $2,000 sale. I was working with Christian Dior, and I was Christian Dior. Yes. That's the one. I was working for them. I did a $2,500 sale. And they said, you can have one of the bottles. And I said, I'll have a Mitza. And they said, well, we can't give you that. And I said, yes, but it's being discontinued next week, so you don't need it. And they bought it. And they gave me the 250 ml bottle of Mitza.
You know what? I respect.
It's like a Jedi mind trick.
I was going to say, yeah, you manipulated them into giving that to you psychologically.
I respect.
That's why you should be the doctor, George, because you can mess with people's minds.
Oh man.
Actually, the truth of the matter is, it was in a store cupboard, and I used the sonic screwdriver. I went in and I just got out.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Nice
So
work.
it all worked out. Thank cheers, you know. I tried.
About that though, because like I respect the pimp hand. So like that's incredible. Like I like when you initially told me that, I remember how like excited you were about it. I remember it was around the time there was OG fragrance YouTuber who started like I think maybe just before, maybe just after I did, or Tim, and that's Mr. Oz. And he loves having really exclusive stuff. And he would wax lyrical about Mitza all the time. And I remember it was also around the time that it was getting discontinued and it became somewhat sought after. So to pull that rabbit out of your hat,
I got it 4 days before they officially, and I knew we all knew.
I knew, and that's a veteran move.
Yeah. I don't know what replaced it. Oh, I know what replaced it, because everybody was upset. I think it was Leather Oud that replaced Meat. So everybody was so upset.
Well, Leather Oud was already out, but the thing is, like, as far as its role in the line, you know, I guess it kind of replaced it as far as a spiritual successor. As far as
I can't remember there was like a direct successor to it, and it might have been Leather Oud, or because I remember shortly after I left, they got rid of Oda. The Kurjan one that Stephen loves. It's not Odin. It's not Odin Nui. Is it Odin Nui? It's not Odin Nui. Hold on a second. I'll have to find out. But it was that one. It was the lavender-based one, typical Kurdijan move. But that one got replaced, and people were upset about that, you know, as well. So I didn't get a bottle of that, unfortunately. I was out. By that point, unfortunately, I didn't get a 250 of that one. Yeah. I've considered splitting Mitza, but you know what? I don't want to.
No.
I'm really greedy about it. I want that 250. I want to wear it.
You know, like a part of me loves doing this. I don't know if Chris or Tim/Johnny, if you guys like doing this too. But once I crack open a bottle, if I really love that fragrance, I almost look forward to the day that I run out of it. Just to say that I had these memories with X fragrance, I think is really cool. Albeit like there's nothing there no longer to show for it anymore. Because if I actually run out of her fragrance, the likelihood of me stocking up on it again is very high, because clearly I loved it if I ran out of it. So I have this like goal in mind, typically like low key, that I want to at least empty one fragrance bottle that I've already owned the previous year, at least like once a year. Like I want to run out of something, because otherwise it's just so extra to have so many bottles and whatnot, right? So that's kind of how I feel about that.
There's certain fragrances that can really shock you. Like I bought Oud Wood 14 months ago, and I've 50 ml. I've nearly run out of it. And I wouldn't have
that's
thought
because of the fact that it's what's it called, reformulated to bits, to be fair. Like you might be spraying it furthermore.
I don't know. I mean, the one I've got is pretty decent. I'm not getting it, but it's like it's not. It's weird.
It's not OG, but it's still good.
It's not OG, but it's still good. It's not. Oh God, Muscat Vajor is dead. Muscat Vajor is dead.
Really?
I've got. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I went into Selfridges, and I heard tales that had been reformulated, and I bought a bottle last year, and it was like good coloured juice. I went into Selfridges, I pick up this bottle, and it looks like lemonade. The juice looks like lemonade, or like diet lemonade. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. They've killed it. They've absolutely murdered it to bits.
Okay, this is just something I feel like I have to get out and say, and like it's 1000% facts. I mean, some people look at the juice, and like I understand you've worked in the industry yourself, but like at the end of the day, more often than not, it's just dye. You know, so like I wouldn't expect, you know, more potency, you know, from the juice color. Sometimes like when they're doing the presentations, like whenever like they put the perfumer's alcohol in the distilled water, all that shit, sometimes they put like dye in afterwards, you know what I mean? So like I don't always think that you can go through that, but like if I were to smell Muscat Vajor now, which I have recently, it definitely is reformulated. I will say that.
It's definitely decreased. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is there maybe, and I'm going to ask you all of this, I'll start off with Chris. Is there a fragrance that you wish you could restore to its former glory that's currently out right now? So not a discontinued fragrance, but a reformulated fragrance. What would you bring back to its original status?
I would say Lamal.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
really good answer.
Lamal was my coming of age scent. So, you know, there was some important things that happened in my life around the time I was wearing Lamal. Let's just leave it at that. I remember it was it projected. It was a beast. You know, everywhere you could walk around bars and everyone would know what you were wearing, and people loved it. Everybody loved it when it, you know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it would get so many compliments. You know, I could put Lamal on and I could walk out feeling 50% more confident just because I was wearing that scent. And that it's not, that's just because what Lamal meant to me. You know, anyone who loves a fragrance that much and knows that other people are going to love it, it just gives you more confidence, I think. So yeah, Lamal, it's still really nice to still have a bottle of the current formulation, but I went through a few bottles of that back in the day, and I wish I'd hung on to them because
yeah.
Well, you're not a fan.
No, that's a good answer. Like, I think it's
okay.
a lovely answer. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I've had the unfortunate situation of, you know, rocking a fragrance and then wanting to revert to it and reformulate it after as well. So that's kind of what I was sighing at. About that though, I know, George, you feel certain ways about certain fragrances that are now like, you know, just to shit. So like, what fragrance most notably for you? Like, would you say?
Well, first I just want to say to Chris, listen, I've actually got a 2007 120 ml Lamal, and it's about 85% full. So when I see you, I mean, not that we're going to be doing anything or anything, not that we're going to be collabing or anything. No.
Oh no.
But if one day, you know, I met you on the street or something, I'll bring the 125 Lamal.
Okay, so I hear the evidence myself and Tim as well. So like now, if you need someone to hold George to that, Chris, let us know.
Yeah, we've got witnesses here.
That would be nice to once again smell the original formulation of the
or near it. Yes.
Yeah.
I know you got a family. I know you got a family now, but we can still go out and rock it. It'd be great.
Absolutely, yeah. All about rocking Lamal.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, we'll go out. We'll have a night out. We're in Lamarck. Anyway.
Yeah, you're sorry, George. You're from Manchester originally, aren't you? But you live down south now. Is that right?
No. Oh God, it's crazy. This I'm from Scotland originally.
Oh,
Scotland. I've got unfortunately I've got more like in common with Lex Ellis than I do. No, he'd be the first to say that as well. No, and then shouts to Lex. That guy's a god.
Lex.
I'm gonna invite him if he's around.
Yeah,
Lex. You should. Yeah, you should. You know.
Spray that Lamal on your boxes and game over. Damn right, Mark. It works. It works. 100%. I've done it.
It's 11:30, so we might catch him sober if Lex comes on. But I don't know. Anyway, who knows, right? Yeah. But yeah, I'd say that for my thing, I think it would be Lidge, actually.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer.
Yeah. I mean, I've got I was like the little engine that could, right? When I heard that they were reformulating it, I bought 3 old school bottles.
You're best like that. You're never gonna go through 1, let alone 2. This guy bought 3.
Yeah.
Lidge. And I know that.
Yeah,
because I know how Tim feels about Lidge too, like OG Lidge. Like, what's your experience with it?
Oh my God! We did a Team Top 5 live stream, right? We did a Team Top 5 live stream. It was a long time ago. My friend got a bottle of vintage Lidge. I sprayed on the back of my hand, and as I was doing the live stream, it was just killing me. I could not stand it. I had to go wash it off a couple of times. It was just too strong.
And you would still smell it after like 1 wash off, to be fair.
It doesn't come off, really. It really doesn't. And vintage perfumes are strong.
They don't give a shit, especially from AAA brands from like Guerlain. Like, you know, like, I mean, when Jean-Paul Guerlain was running the show, it was just like, oh, let's just like make big everything, you know. And I feel like Lidge was that. That's a good answer. Tim, is there something you can unreformulate?
Something I can unreformulate. That's a good question.
Would it be?
I really don't know.
It wouldn't be Tuscan. Would it be Tuscan?
No, I don't like Tuscan enough to give it that honor. But I really don't know. That's a tough question because I don't. You see, like I joined the fragrance community, right. I don't think I've smelled anything in the past that is different now that I really, really love. You know what I mean? It's
In
I'm
your
not like
era.
it's not like Chris where he has experience with vintage Lamau in during his lifetime, and now it's reformulated. I don't have any of those experience. I joined the community kind of late, so all the stuff I smell and I love now are pretty modern.
Yeah, I mean, you're super young to be fair, so there's that too. I mean, like, for me, I mean, like, I'm not that old, but like, I've been wearing fragrances for a minute, so.
No, yours gonna be all the Chanel EDTs.
Oh, of
All.
course. I mean, well, there's that. Like, and I'm like notorious for liking that stuff because, like, I'm not a girl, so it's weird if I do. But yeah, obviously, it would be the Chanel Eau de Toilette Les Exclusives. I wish we could revert to that because this Eau de Parfum. I don't care if they make a crappier Eau de Parfum version. To be honest, I do care that they do that and the price goes up like nearly 35%. That's my main issue. Because I know stuff is bound to get reformulated anyway. So that's okay with me. So, but yeah, I would bring those back. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Les Exclusives de Chanel by any chance? Chris, do you like any of those?
You know what? I'm not really that familiar with them.
That's fair.
Yeah, I more so the main designer range of the Chanel, but yeah, I don't really know. Same with the Dior Privé. I've smelled some in store, but I'm not, and I love some of them, but I've not really had a chance to wear them. And so I can never really formulate an opinion until I've spent a good amount of time with it. Even on skin, off one wearing in a store,
it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. I need a good amount of time with it.
No, that's fair. About
what would you recommend from that line that I try first then?
Well, as like, here's the thing. I wouldn't recommend much right now.
Oh, okay.
Because of the fact
because of reformulation,
the reformulations, and the valuation is like ridiculous. I just think like right now, like I know I'm talking as far as US dollar value. I think 320 US is a little bit too hard of an ask for what you get in the 200 ml presentation right now. I just think it's kind of unreasonable. Because the value used to be so much better back then, and it was at a better concentration, in my personal opinion. So I honestly, I tell people to boycott the line. Like, I'm dead serious. I think it's a wrap. I mean, like, I send some people some EDT samples, like, when I can and whatnot, just to show you that, like, how good it was before. I think where it really suffers is the dry down. Opening notes, like, they do a good job of replicating that, but they just aren't as deep anymore. And you're spending 30, 40 more percent on it. But honestly, the staples I would look at getting a sniff of Sycamore, Coromandel. I like Bois des Îles as well, which is an OG 1921 fragrance. Trente Un Rue Cambon is one of my favorites. I would get a hold of those 4 if possible.
Yeah, definitely heard some good stuff about Sycamore. Yeah.
Oh, Sycamore is incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sycamore's a lot of fun.
About La Maison Dior, or formerly La Collection Privée.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing I always associate with that line is the value. Because of the fact that despite reformulations, you still get a good amount of juice. The price is still okay. And another thing you're buying into is exclusivity. Like, you never see that stuff around because there's not many Christian Dior desks out there, or standalone boutiques. So I think like that level of pretentiousness is also why you buy into those brands, which is fine. I mean, I like that shit too, so it's cool. But if you guys could recommend to Chris at least one La Collection Privée to check out right now, what would it be? Like, George, if you had to pick one.
Can it be Chanel and Dior?
If you have a Chanel to recommend, yeah.
Are you going to say Fev?
Well, yes.
Well, I mean, Fev is like standard, right?
I saw a video you did with Dava Fragrance Bros, and you guys were just glowing about Fev. You loved it.
I've still got it. I'm like nearly halfway through.
I love it. I really enjoy Fev.
I know Dior. It's because I know Dior more than Chanel. I like. This is going to sound kind of bizarre because it's like 150 pounds. but I really think that their eau de cologne is top notch. I know it's like extortion.
Wow.
I think it's extortion, but it's like a very, very good eau de,
That's
like
good.
a solid.
150, 400 mil, is that?
If you're lucky. Hang on a second, I don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
It's probably like 50 mil or something.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. It is disgusting, really. But if you take right out of the picture, it's like the same quality as like. Mark's going to kill me for saying this. It is to colognes what eau de Burgrade Concentrate by Jean-Claude Eleanor with Frederic Malle is to bergamot fragrances. Right?
Okay.
It's like it's a really sort of high level eau de cologne. It's like one of the best out there. You know, in my humble opinion. But I know the Dior's a lot more.
Expecting that answer at all. I was not
Really?
expecting.
Really?
Yeah, no.
It's one of the ones that stood out. Like I liked Sycamore. I appreciate Sycamore for what it is. But I thought, damn, that's a really good eau de cologne.
Eau de cologne from Chanel. Yes.
And if I had money to throw away like that, you know, I'd probably like get rid of my Acqua di Parmas and just go for that one. You know.
Wow.
Apart from like Mondolo and the blue collection, that's a different thing. But, yeah, that's a different ball game.
But as far as like the Colonia Puras and the
yeah, the regulars, yeah. That's what I do.
No,
but I know the Dior's. I know the Dior's a lot more.
Yes.
The Dior's, I'd say Fev, obviously, and Ambre Nuit. Ambre Nuit is really something.
Yeah.
Ambre Nuit is really something. The whole line, I even like Blasphemy. I won't. No,
don't say it.
I'm sorry.
Don't say Grand V. I'm serious. Don't. Like,
I like Eau d'Ispahan. I like Eau d'Ispahan. I do like it.
Okay, see, I can live with that. But if you were to say Grand V, like Tim and I are like ending the stream.
Oh, give me a break.
Okay.
I think I am.
So I know you have a little bit more respect than that, so I appreciate that. But Tim, can you recommend La Collection Privée or Les Exclusifs that is not Grand V and or Eau d'Ispahan?
So my favorite Privée that's not Grand V or Eau d'Ispahan.
Okay. And before you answer this, I just want to make one thing clear. You know what? Because of how much I dislike Grand V, I'm gonna, because you guys know I go out of my way to like pronounce stuff properly. I try my best. But I'm saying fuck it. It's just not Grand V anymore. It's Granville. That's it. You know, so this is what I do. So for example, like if a bad Versace fragrance comes out, I don't say it's Versace. I say it's Versace. So like if Eros Flame comes out and it's bad, I'm gonna say it's Versace. Like it's just Fugazi. You know, I'm good. I'm done. So that's how I feel.
I'm kind of like that. Like if a Clive Christian fragrance comes out, I pronounce it Rip Off.
Oh wow. Well. Okay, fair play.
So I get those perfected, pronunciations in.
Oh yeah. No, that's something. All right, Tim. So La Collection or Les Exclusifs. Like pick your. It doesn't have to be one of each. I know it's gonna be a La Collection, but like, what one would you recommend outside of the bad ones?
Outside of those two that you mentioned, I would recommend. It's so hard to say about Gris Dior though, because it's weaker now.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I would have said Gris Montagne if it was still the same. But Feb also, I've not tried a new formulation of Feb either, so that's also hard to say. Right now, this collection, the only thing I could recommend is Sakura, which I think is a really nice cherry blossom tea fragrance. It's really relaxing. That's one I do enjoy, and that's one of the newer ones. So,
okay, so I love that answer, and it's a lovely fragrance. But Chris, and for anyone out here watching, this is just my proposal, and Tim, I think you can get a lot of views for this. You should make a review on Sakura and call it the ultimate waifu fragrance.
Ultimate waifu fragrance.
Yes.
That sounds like more your type of content, man.
What are you talking about? Says the person.
You're basically wearing pink.
You claim that you're more Asian than me, so I want you to do some waifu content. Just saying. Japanese cherry blossom, and it's called Sakura. So that's like the most weeb. That's the most weeb shit I've ever heard. So
that's like me saying to Chris, I dare you to do like the top 10 tea fragrances, or the top 10 fish and chips fragrances.
George, you should do that too. Come on, that should be you guys' collab. Top 10 tea
Oh
fragrances.
yeah, yeah, George. It should be something just British through and through, really, shouldn't it? If we do something,
top 10 fragrances. Top 10 fragrances to wear going down to the chippy.
Yeah.
Top 10 fragrances to wear at the pub.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Actually, is there a fragrance that I might be unaware of that verbatim or tries to mimic English breakfast tea? Is there a fragrance out there that you know of? Because I think that would be pretty cool. And I know George
bottle the tea and spray it on yourself.
I know George is laughing because, like, I feel like I'm just being like an ignorant person of the Commonwealth asking about English breakfast tea as a fragrance and trying to objectify that furthermore.
I mean, the problem is I'm going to have to like pin you down and say, what brand are we talking? Are we talking Twinings? Are we talking, what are we talking?
PG tips.
Are we talking PG tips? Yeah.
Oh,
we're going Tetley. What's going on? That's very specific.
Yeah.
We know, we're going to get to specifics.
Okay, but dead ass, is there an English breakfast tea fragrance out there? Because I don't know of one, and I would love one.
Man.
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't really know that many tea fragrances, to be honest. I mean, I haven't smelled it. I'd love to. It's on my list, but I know Tea for Two gets a lot of love. I don't know how close to English breakfast that one is, but
I haven't smelled that one. Gucci Prom 2, they say that has like a lot of like a tea vibe, and I'm like, okay, it's very calming, but it's no tea I've ever had. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a PG tips that I'm smelling with Gucci Prom 2. You know, so I don't know what you guys are on about, but it's calming. It's all that, you know. It's nice.
Yeah, fair play. Okay,
we need to go on a hunt, Chris. We need to go on a search for this.
This is our mission, George, is to find the perfect English tea fragrance.
I think if you guys were to team up and then maybe throw in Fragrance View, Lex Ellis, Mr. Smelly 1977 in the video, and go on this hunt for like the ultimate English breakfast tea fragrance, I would watch that. And if Super Chat was on, Great British Frag Off. If Super Chat was on, I would donate $50 to that video. So, or maybe 50 quid, so y'all can have 10 each. That'd be cool. Keep it even.
Yeah, we'd have to travel the world. We'd have to visit at least 10 different countries in search of the perfect tea fragrance.
I figure y'all would just have to go through the British Isles. Y'all have to go around. I'm thinking, but okay, if you guys are gonna go around the world with it,
the thing is, I don't think our tea it comes from Britain. I think our tea is shipped from abroad.
Try Russian tea by Mas Milano.
Timmy, I was going to say Russian tea Mas Milano is a beautiful tea fragrance. It's very refreshing and light and a little minty. Is it a bit of mint in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
it's beautiful. Opening and it dries down to a spiced leather tea.
It's so dark the way it dries down, but it's so vibrant at first. Yeah. So you have the best of both worlds, and it's a tea fragrance I haven't smelled before, because to make a more rugged, wintry tea fragrance, I think is a kind of a brave undertaking, because of the fact that usually you think of tea as like the opposite of a brazen fragrance, and I think Russian tea is different. And Professor Alexander Brun also told me this himself, that tea in Russia, like the black tea in Russia, there is actually has leather notes in it. So I'm saying this because of the fact that I kind of smack talked the fragrance at one point, because I responded to someone's comment and said that, you know, it's a great fragrance, but I just thought it was kind of redundant that you can just put leather into anything and all of a sudden call it Russian, because how many Coeur de Russes exist? So in my head, that's what I was thinking. But then he told me that, like, he actually emailed me and said verbatim, hey, you know, while that's true, it's kind of like stereotypical, but it's also at the same time very evocative of actual Russian tea, because there's tea notes there's tea that actually has Russian leather notes in it. So I thought that shit was really cool when he told me that, and I looked it up and it's legit. So they were going for accuracy there as well as gimmicky. So I appreciate that.
I think the perfect name, sorry, George, the perfect name, if we could find the perfect British tea, would have to be called Builder's Brew. I think.
God, give me a break.
Because I don't know if you guys know, but most people in England drink their tea with milk in. I don't know if you do as well, but milky tea is the way that the Brits drink their tea. So a Builder's Brew is kind of supposed to represent the perfect cup of tea, which is what your traditional builder will have if they come round to do some building work at your house.
Yep.
You'll say, "Do you fancy a brew?" And you know, you'll make them a builder's brew, and it'll just be you know, this milky tea.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven.
Call it builder's brew. That would be sick. Yo, Mass Milano, get on that, or someone.
Builder's brew. Yeah. No, we need we need a good
should,
Brit brand to come up with that. I don't know,
fragrance.
You know, an interesting fragrance, actually. Milky tea, milky notes and tea.
Yeah, milky notes of tea. Yeah. Oh, we do have the Joe Malone Earl Grey.
Oh, that's also facts. That being said, I have very strong opinions on Joe Malone, but the thing is, I do respect the pimp hand. I respect her hustle. I like how she has like this cult of personality about her. Because like I swear, and I'm not sure if you guys are following the same circles I do, but beauty vloggers and like just Asian people in general, like we're talking like the ones who are trying to pursue this, you know, luxe yet minimalist vibe in like, you know, metropolitan areas in Asia, like in Seoul or in Singapore and Tokyo, like people just fuck with Joe Malone pretty hard, you know, like for the most part, that's what they're going to be wearing. Like,
there's a few things I want to say. First of all, I think we should contact Shane Blue and give them a challenge. Second of all, I think that we should do a and hey, shout out to Shane Blue. I really fuck with them. I do like Shane Blue. They're chill. They're really chill. But I think that what we've got here is if we get me, Chris, Mr. Smelly, Peter from Fragrance View, Lex Ellis, even invite Claire, Smurfy Girly, and we do a 10-part YouTube Red series. Right, and 10-part YouTube Bread series, and we'll kind of base it on like An Idiot Abroad with Carl Pilkington, and we'll just search the world for tea fragrances. I mean, that would be great. And hey, I've got a production company. I've got a production company now, so we need something to do. So I'll get on it.
Let's do it.
This sounds like the most British show of all time.
I'll bring you slider.
Yeah, I would watch the show. So like that'd be cool. That being said. I'm trying to think of like other stereotypically UK things you guys can make. I feel like there'd always have to be like to do with like beverages and whatnot. So like tea, beer, like that's about it. Whiskey. Wait, which? You say
racism?
Oh, you should make a fragrance called Brexit.
Oh God, that would be horrible.
I'm joking.
That would be the worst fragrance. It would be overly complex.
Oh God, we're gonna like do it on the Brexit anniversary.
No, nobody would decide what was going into it.
Oh no. Here's what you would call it. Call it English.
We are just going hard British humor style on them right here, Chris, and they're just not getting it. Love it.
And it would be so expensive, it would cripple the economy. That fragrance.
Okay, no. Hear me out here.
And I'd only agree with 48% of it.
Oh God! Yikes!
48% concentration.
Oh, that's heavy. So I have something for you guys. By the way, I have something for you. This is what you guys would call it. English Brexit tea.
Oh, that's
there.
Wow.
There it is. That would be
that's beautiful. That's great.
Yeah, so I think we
oh God.
English Brexit tea.
Yeah.
Someone must have done that already.
Oh, you know what?
That must be a thing.
Why don't we do
I just want to give a quick shout out, by the way. I see Connor Rebuck, who's a renowned poster within Facebook fragrance groups and forums. Thanks for tuning in, bro. I appreciate it.
Hey, Connor.
And he was mentioning X amount of tea fragrances. So I see Oolong Cha Nishane, which I probably own, love it. Unknown Pleasures by Kerosene. I have not tried that one. Shout out to Kerosene.
Yep. I think that the if we're going to do like British themed things, I think that the company name should be the House of Teresa Matriarch.
That's okay. First off, hold on. I'm trying to process this. I mean, I'm just trying to breathe right now. House of Teresa Matriarch. That's fucked up. Oh jeez, if Pete was here right now. Oh man.
Yeah, he'd be on it.
Oh
yeah,
God.
but George, it's not possible to have a fragrance to please everybody.
Ooh. I mean, that'd be very fitting.
Well, that's true. Yeah, jeez, it's definitely no one voted for it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. No, now, like, since we're on this topic, because we were talking about tea and how like
boy.
underutilized it is
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have a question for all you, and I want to start with Imagine Scent with this one. If you do have a fragrance note out there, that
I'm hearing
is,
echoes from someone.
I'm hearing echoes from me. I don't know why it's me though. Just give me one
I'm
second.
hearing echoes of myself as well. But I have my headphones in, so I don't know if
Tim, do you have headphones on?
I'm talking through my phone, so it's never been a problem before.
Yeah, try putting on headphones right now before just to
I
tell
can't.
you.
It's I'm on the phone. My phone charger is plugged in, and I only have one because with all new devices only have one phone. They only have one earphone.
Yeah, but usually to alleviate that, you have to eliminate foldback. So if you can Bluetooth some headphones in, that would be great. Or just go on mute for a second. I want to see
really don't think it's me though, because we've talked for like
no. The fact that it's a factor now is just strange. So okay, so I'm talking and it's gone now because I don't think.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. It's back.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry about that, guys. We're undergoing technical difficulties. I'm gonna try muting myself for a second.
Oh, hello. Is there any echo?
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
Now we can actually talk.
I think it's Manny.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's always Manny's fault. How we doing? I think he's back. You all right? Oh wait, no, it's Timmy. So Timmy, how's life? Chris, how's life?
Yeah, great, man. Yeah, just having a nice chilled out Sunday morning, couple of coffees.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Still getting that echo.
Yeah, we can hear Tim. I'm echoless. I don't know. The internet seems to like me. The most important question is, why don't you sleep? Listen, we are so jacked up on fragrances, so high on fragrances, that we don't even need to eat anymore, or sleep. We're just kind of there. Also, Rich Mitch says Co-op's 99 tea is the finest tea in the land. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm ashamed to say that I haven't tried it, but I do shop at Co-op.
Yeah.
I have a membership card, so I will definitely be checking it out.
You know something? I've got a real confession to make. My favorite Earl Grey brand in all signings.
The Daleks are here.
Oh God, I'm not getting any of this. It's crazy. I must be on a different dimensional wavelength or something.
I think you sound fine now.
Okay. Yeah, but my favorite Earl Grey brand is actually the Co-op.
Is it? Oh.
I think they make like the most legit Earl Grey.
Do you?
I really think that. Like,
I'm Twinings all the way with it, but
listen, with everything else, I'm Twinings. I've got like my Twinings English breakfast. I've got my Twinings. I've even got Assam. I've even got Lady Grey. I even love their Lady Grey. But Earl Grey, I know Co-op's got the.
Let me tell you something about Earl Grey, and this is really sad. You might get this, George, if you're a sci-fi fan, but I feel so cool, and I'm so pleased. I love Earl Grey because it's Picard's. It's Picard's tea.
JLP?
Yeah.
JLP. Yeah.
JLP.
No, it's
I'm
great.
big Next Gen fan.
Are you?
Yeah,
We've got a lot to talk about. We've got too much to talk about.
I worked as a crew member at the Star Trek exhibition when it first came to Manchester. I was 17 at the time, and funny story. I was the youngest member of the team. Everyone else was older than me, and I turned up on the first day with the captain's pips on my collar, and I outranked everybody.
That's how you do it.
I demoted myself after the first shift.
Oh,
That's a sign of a good leader, I think.
First place.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
What's it called?
Manny, you're coming in a little bit quiet, mate.
Yeah, Manny, you're very quiet. You're soft.
Okay, why am I coming in quiet? All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so I just wanted to get into something I thought was interesting because we were talking about underutilized notes. So one of them is tea, and we talked about like 2 or 3 different kinds of tea: Earl Grey, green, black, English breakfast. But now I want to know from you guys: is there a note that you personally love yourself that you wish was more utilized in mainstream perfumery? I'm going to start off with Tim.
Hmm?
Do you have
Say that
a
again.
do you have a favorite note that needs to be more utilized in mainstream perfumery?
Utilize more mainstream perfume.
Because I know you like a lot of musks, you like a lot of vanillas and tonkas and stuff like that. And
Yeah, but those are used in every fragrance.
yeah, they're using everything. But is there something that you personally like that you think needs to be used more? Because for me, it's tea. So like you guys know that. But for you guys,
For me, I don't know exactly. I would just love to see a new accord in general, like maybe a matcha tea accord. Yeah, that's very rare.
matcha, yeah,
A really nice mango
trendy.
scent is really rare as well.
Mango.
I would just like to see some new accords being used rather than the old, the cliche accords like rose oud is done a stupid amount of times. I don't want to see any more of that.
Yeah,
they're great, but I don't want to see any more of it.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, you know
I
what?
just want to see something new.
You mentioned mango. So I think a really good mango scent is, of course, Au Jardin Solennel by Hermes. But another one I think you guys should all check out if you've yet to is Cruz del Sur Dos by Xerjoff. Milky mango scent. It's incredible. I think you'd really like it, Tim. Has anyone smelled that, by the way?
Yeah, it's really enjoyable. Very nice.
Oh, yes, lovely. Okay. Chris, do you have a preferred note that you wish was utilized more in perfumery right now?
It's a tough question because I think a lot of my favorite notes are utilized a lot. I'd say probably my favorite is tobacco.
Okay.
I love a nice sweet cherry tobacco, a nice wet, moist, sweet tobacco. But it's used, it's been done so well so many times. I wouldn't say it's underused. I also love a bit of orange blossom, jasmine, tuberose.
Orange blossom's a good answer, I think.
Yeah,
very good answer.
Yeah, I love the orange blossom in the one. I think it's really nicely done in that.
Okay.
I have a gorgeous Penhaligon's fragrance called Orange Blossom. I have a sample of it, and it's it's the nicest orange blossom I've smelled.
That's the most UK answer of all time, by the way. Well, like Penhaligon's. I respect
UK this morning.
You gotta rep your own. About orange blossom, and I want to say this. I think some of you have tested these out already. Of course, I have the press release from Mugler themselves, the new Mugler colognes, and there's an orange blossom fragrance there called "Take Me Out," and I think it's incredible at the designer level. I think it's really good, and I think on like a designer mainstream level with orange blossom as like the main note, we don't see that from men. We don't see that for women. We don't see that for unisex fragrances all too often. I think we'll see it from maybe like really expensive niche stuff like Frederic Malle and up. But on the designer level, I think orange blossom needs to be more utilized as well. Absolutely.
I think fragrances because it works so well in the one.
Yep. No, it definitely does. Absolutely. Yeah. Like it's just what it needs. Yeah. From it going too ambery or tobacco-y. Like I think it's legit.
Yeah, and I think in Code Profumo, we have orange blossom and leather together, which again I think works beautifully as well. I really love Profumo.
Yeah.
About this though, George, do you have a note yourself that you think needs to be spammed more in mainstream perfumery?
Yep. Honey.
Honey? What?
Honey. Yep. Always.
I thought that's already used a lot. Or am I wrong?
Are you kidding? No. Well, what honey fragrances do you know?
Like Pure Havane, like Back to Black, any of the mainstream tobaccos in recent memory?
I feel as though honey is usually
honey on its own for the most part, not like in the corner.
Yeah.
You know what is good?
No, honey is a centerpiece. Okay. I think Keith's got honey going, and I think that it really can elevate a scent if you can have like two smells like honey and leather. I think that would be nuts. Honey and tobacco. You kind of got that with Pure Havane, but it's a Mugler and it's got the problems that Mugler fragrances have. There was one that I smelt that it was a Ferragamo one, Golden Ashea. That one had a really striking honey kind of chocolatey thing. I just feel as though that like honey could really be used in a big way in gourmands. Like if you had like I think Timmy could even appreciate some of that. But yeah, honey, I feel still hasn't achieved the success that it really could.
George, have you tried Tabac Rouge?
Sorry, which one?
Tabac Rouge from Faden.
No, what's that one?
Perfect.
Honey and tobacco. It's beautiful.
Tim's a huge advocate of
That is
scent.
beautiful. When I smelled the Back Rouge, I almost instantly bought it right away when I was in New York. But I was at Oswald, so I bought Moringa instead. But right when I got back to Alaska from my New York trip, I just ordered Tobacco Rouge right away because it was just so.
With Tobacco Rouge, I believe it's your preferred tobacco honey go-to over like.
It is my preferred. Yeah, out of all the honey tobacco, I think that's by far my favorite one.
Like when it comes to that like tobacco, like honey or vanilla genre, I think you said you preferred over the Harrods, the Tobacco Vanille, that kind of shit.
Over everything else for sure. That's just divine.
Yeah. And Tobacco Rouge does get compared a lot to Tobacco Vanille, but it's a little more refined, and it's more sweetness from the honey rather than the vanilla. So it's a nicer, more refined take on Tobacco Vanille.
Yeah, when I smell Tobacco Vanille, it's very
funny thing is Tobacco Rouge doesn't really have the note of tobacco in it. It's a lot of spices that kind of creates the tobacco.
It's like a phantom accord, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny when brands do that because they'll say that, hey, this is in it, but then it's not an advertised note. So that's interesting. About Tobacco Vanille though, because like Tobacco Vanille is just really aggressive on all fronts. Like I feel like when you do get the spice, it's aggressive. The dry vanilla is aggressive. The tobacco is aggressive. And I used to like love it. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm looking for something a little bit more subdued in composition. I still love its performance, don't get me wrong, but I feel like as far as blend, I just feel like it's kind of aggressive. But that like a very like aroma chemically, and I know I sound like a snob now because a lot of people love that fragrance, but I think there's a lot of fragrances right now that just surpass its value and maybe scent too. So Tobacco Rouge is a good option.
I'm looking up Tobacco Rouge reviews, and the first one that comes out, it comes up as Chris, of course.
Yes.
From FRAG-MENTAL. So I'll give it a watch. I have smelled this.
The only one you need.
That's what I love. I have smelled this one before. I have many years ago. It's an older one, isn't it? It's like 4 or 5 years old. It's like really yeah. And I smelt it about 3 years ago. But I think it was at that point that like I wasn't really getting full on into niche, as in I couldn't really afford to be doing that. Yeah. But I remember thinking, wow, but my nose has developed and I've changed, so I'm going to recheck that out. But I remember thinking, ooh, that's nice.
It's actually not bad value for niche. It's around about the £100 mark for 100 ml.
I'm getting 112 here online. Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so more often than not, like usually ish, I think for like US dollar value wise, like maybe you're spending like, I want to say, I'm just gonna convert that quickly because like I really want to know.
We get stuff so much cheaper over here. It's crazy.
Oh, I know
like,
you
really do it. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, like the Creed Viking over there is like $500.
Facts.
Hang on a minute. Let me tell you. This is the worst one because Creed Viking 100 ml, 50 ml, 100 ml here is.
Well, I know how much it is in like France, for example.
244. All right, split hairs. £245. Creed Viking. So £245.
That's 315 ish, like US dollars. Like, yeah. So but
we get it
in US dollars, we're spending like 500 for it.
Exactly. We're getting it $180 or thereabouts, 175 maybe, cheaper.
Yeah, like we're spending a good $200 more ish on.
I got a great deal on a Creed actually. I'm just going to brag about this because it was I thought it was a good deal. You were talking about Bois de Portugal earlier, and nice. I bought it was from a Facebook group, but it was sealed and unopened. It was 137 for the 100 ml of Bois de Portugal. So I was super pleased about that one.
I'd be too.
Yeah.
Like
it's fake, but it's still nice. No, it's not.
I believe you for a second, Chris.
I low-key wanted to hold you to that. start a drama video. I'm joking. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's funny because like I got called out recently for apparently using a fake creed.
Yep.
Oh,
Really?
in a video.
In a video. I'm
Okay.
like, well, you shouldn't call me out then, because you should call Jeremy Fragrance out because that was a gift. Like in my mind, that's what I was thinking. You know, I didn't feel like, you know, saying something antagonistic though, because like, yeah,
Yep.
I'm like, because I know my truth, I know it's real, of course.
Yep.
But dead ass, like, I'm like, imagine if I went at Jeremy, be like, you gave me a fake creed. Nah.
What about it? Did someone think it was fake? What was
Just
the
based
reason
on
they
its
thought it was fake?
appearance, the variation of the way the bottle looked, you know, looked off to them. And honestly, when it comes to creeds, they're still hand put into boxes, and I'm going to presume that their bottles, while there's some, you know, assembly line factor into them, like it's a brand that there's not the most attention to detail on the presentation side, so there are going to be some defects. And I always tell people what like Louis Cavallo from Creed at New York would say, and that's use your nose. Like presentation is one thing, but I've heard horror stories of people say that they received a real bottle from someone and then they received like Fugazi fragrance inside it. You know what I mean? So like it's really easy for someone to inject like, you know, fakes into a bottle. I mean, mind you, that's a lot of work, but I'm just saying like even if something looks off to you or it looks like seconds to you, I don't think it's worth it to just automatically go at someone and say that that's fake.
Yeah.
Like I think that's such an allegation in this community, because in other communities, if you're caught with something fake, like it's a big deal if you're talking luxury goods, right? Like I remember there's this rapper named Rick Ross who got caught with what people presumed to be fake Louis Vuitton millionaire sunglasses. Apparently they were just customs. They weren't fake. But I just think you have to be a big person to call someone out for that.
Yeah.
That's just me. About that though, since we're on that topic, to your knowledge, has anyone here received a fake fragrance from someone?
I have.
Or own one?
I have.
I'm
gonna tell you
wait, George, you said you have?
Oh yeah, I have, yeah.
Oh, okay. So before you elaborate on that, I'm wondering, Tim or Chris, have you received a fake fragrance from someone?
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, it was a decant though off eBay.
Okay, and Tim?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it's funny because when I usually buy stuff off the Facebook groups now,
right?
And on the Facebook group, everyone will just say that, "Oh, aren't you Timmy from Imagine Sense?" Like, I don't think anyone wants to scam a reviewer, so I feel safe buying on Facebook groups.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's easy to check for rep, you know, once you're on a social network like Facebook. However, you know, eBay, for example, like you would presume is more, there's a little bit more accountability there because you're always buying stuff through what they call goods and services, of course. And then, of course, there's eBay fees for the seller and whatnot. And obviously the buyer is protected in two ways. One, it's, you know, you're protected under community guidelines for eBay, for a seller to be as accurate as possible. But as far as PayPal now, since they're technically separate, so no matter what, the seller is going to be safe. So I'm just wondering, what did you guys do to combat the fact that you received something fake? Did you just take the L, or did you do something about it? George, I'll start off with you.
Well, I've got to say that Amazon and eBay to me are actually some of the worst. I've received 3 fakes, one from Amazon, 2 from eBay, but even Amazon, that's bad. I actually I'll do, the only internet shopping I'll do is All Beauty. I've even considered doing like an affiliate program with them, not because of anything other than I really, really love All Beauty, and they've given me so much. Like they've done a lot, and they do a lot for the UK. So I trust them, and Liberty London. Those are the only 2 I would ever use now. So I got a fake 1 million on Amazon. It was unusually cheap, but and that's a red flag. There should be a video where you go through all the red flags of, like, maybe somebody's already done that, I don't know. But I got it.
Yeah, I think I have one, yeah.
Oh, right, cool. I got it, and it was just like, you could, like, the bottom of a fragrance is the hardest part to fake. I learned that in retail training. It's the hardest part of the bottle to fake is the bottom, for some obscure reason. And the bottom of this bottle just looked all weird and strange. And then I smelt it and I thought, that's not 1 million. That's just not 1 million. You can tell.
Mm.
And so what I did was, I haven't actually, this is a bit naughty really. It's a naughty thing. I requested a refund. They gave me a refund. And then I thought, right, well, I'm going to keep this bottle to do like a video about it. So I got the money back and I didn't send the bottle back. And I've never done that video, which was naughty of me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I should do that. I should do that. I think I've still got it in my cabinet. I got a fake Millesime Imperial. Oh my God, I was so upset. I got that from eBay. I did. I got a super fake Millesime Imperial. It was preposterous. But I did send it back, and they did give me the money back.
Good.
And that was fine. And the worst one of all time was, and I had to send it back because it was just a joke. I ordered Lamel. It comes and it's black. The whole bottle's black. It's like dark black and like gray.
You received the blacked.com version of Lamel.
Yeah, and it smelt like Armani Code. It smelt like Armani Code.
Man,
and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. And I thought, there's going to be some kid who falls for that. There's going to be some kid who falls for that. And I just wrote them back, and I was like, listen, I'm the fragrance apprentice. You can't do this to me.
Oh my God!
You know,
out swinging.
Yeah, I came out swinging. I was like, bro, I review these things. Give me a break. And they were like, okay, send it back.
Oh.
And I did send it back. I don't want some like fake, crazy Lamel Armani Code crap in my collection. So, but that was the worst, and that was from eBay. It was terrible, preposterous.
Okay. Now, lovely that you like actually use. I mean, like, I'm glad you actually did something about it, because a lot of people will just take the L and like not do anything about it. But like, come on, like you always have buyer's discretion to a certain extent. So about that, is that kind of what you did, Chris? Like, did you just contact them, or?
No, I'm ashamed to say I didn't do anything. It was a 10 ml decant of oud wood, and I already owned oud wood, and they were selling some Tom Ford decants at good prices, almost too good to be true. So I thought I would buy their oud wood and test it against mine to see if it was legit. And it just smelt off. It was chemically and sharp and rough, and didn't have the smoothness that the oud wood has. It's passable, wearable. And I thought, I spent £10 on it, I think, and for a decant for £10, I couldn't be bothered getting into the hassle of doing anything. And I thought I'll throw it on after the gym or that kind of thing, and I would wear it. Although I haven't touched it.
Okay, and
yeah,
they're like, I've held some L's like that too, like not in the fragrance game, believe it or not, but like in other like lifestyles that like I got like Fugazi sneakers at one point, and then I had to go through some hoopla about getting my money back, which is fine. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how some of these like sellers do it on eBay, as far as the hassle people are willing to go through as far as getting their money back. Like, I just think it's so much easier to be authentic with it. I swear some of these guys are snake oil salesmen. So like, you guys have to watch out there. If you guys are watching in this stream, if you guys have been conned ever, can you let us know? And Tim, have you been conned like that, like hard ever? And did you do something about it?
No.
Because typically, like you and I, like, we're also in a different area of the world, right? So we have sometimes seemingly more access to discounters sometimes, but also, like, I know for me, I buy retail a lot, so to avoid riffraff like this.
That's the reason why I'm more Asian than you, Manny.
Why?
Because I look for bargains like all Asians should.
Dude, they don't. I'm serious, man. You go to a metropolitan city where like these Asians are out here buying like 3 Montclair jackets at a time. Dog, man, that's a new Asian. I'm sorry. I'd say I lean that way. I'm not trying to flex. You're like the old school Asian. I respect that.
Yep.
Okay.
I was taught the traditional way, being Asian.
So, and Tim is rocking the traditional tie-dye, THAI sweater.
The Asian.
So that's incredible. I'm looking right now at the stream. So thank you to all the stream monsters for tuning in. I really appreciate this. We have some questions here, and I know some people are asking stuff amongst themselves. I see Fragrance Journey. Will you visit the Osmotech? Has anyone done that before? I'm just wondering.
No.
Because
I mean, my fragrance pilgrimage was New York, actually, back in 2015. I've not done anything else.
Because Osmotech is like this place in France where like you can smell all these like scents and aroma chemicals and whatnot. So I think that's like worth doing if I'm in France one day. So I was just
whereabouts in France? Paris?
Into Paris, yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, so I'd love to. Has anyone here been to Paris?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when I was like 6 years old.
Did you guys do some sniffing there? I presume you didn't, George. But
no, there wasn't any good cocaine to go around, I'm afraid.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I say that super casually.
Makes sense now.
Yikes. Chris, what did you buy there by any chance, if you bought anything in Paris as well?
Well, very, very little really. I was backpacking. So if I had have gone into a fragrance store, I think I would have swiped about 100 bottles off the shelves with my backpack. So yeah, I didn't that. And I wasn't really as into fragrances at the time. It was quite a few years ago. If I went back to Paris, I would absolutely do some high class sniffing. I'm actually going to Paris in December, but the only thing I'll be sniffing is Mickey Mouse.
Oh, going there.
Going there. Disneyland Paris in December.
Don't they have the Guinness frozen fragrance there?
I don't know. I did see somebody, the Gent of Scent, who I follow on Instagram. He took his family to Disneyland, and there seemed to be and he came back with a load of fragrances. So
they have lots of fragrances there apparently.
Okay, so I don't know if it's the same in Disneyland Paris. I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
there you go. Are you going to do a video in Disneyland Paris? Come on, we need to know.
You want me to do it? I could. Yeah, I mean, I'll take the camera. I'll see if I can. If I could get a video with the Magic Kingdom castle behind me, that would be the ultimate, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Review event that's behind it.
So about that, I mean, I presume we're all familiar with Disney here. Like, as far as like, what's the most like, what was the most Disney fragrance in your mind? Like
probably Millésime Impérial.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, like, I know you're going there, Chris. Like, if you could review a fragrance there, what would it be?
All right. I think it'd have to be something sweet. I don't know. I've never.
I think it has to be pretty, personally. Like
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just think of Disney princesses.
I mean, a pretty bottle or a pretty scent.
Both.
Both.
To be
both.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've already reviewed it, but Rush of Unicorns from Parfums Vintage.
Imperial. There you go.
Could have been a good one. I don't know, something like 1 million, maybe something golden, sparkly, and kind of sweet and saccharine.
Imperial. I think that's what we're going for.
Okay.
And Tim, what about you? Do you have a Disney fragrance, or what would you wear to Disney World or Disneyland? As someone who's recently there.
Disney World and Disneyland.
Look, because you were recently there, right?
I was recently in Disneyland.
Disneyland, yes. So, what would you? Sorry, Disneyland's in California, Disney World's in Florida. But what did you wear on that day? Just wondering, if you recall.
I wore Pacific Rock Moss.
Yes,
because it was like midsummer.
And
you actually, California, you know how hot that is?
I know. I mean, dude, I'm from there. Come on.
Hot.
Like, I'm Canadian, by the way, if you guys don't know, but I was actually born in California and go back kind of frequently. So yes, definitely hot. I like how the heat there is a little tolerable though in comparison to Nevada or Florida or most tropics. So shout outs to California. That being said, PRM. I just want to get your quick thoughts, all y'all. I know Tim rates PRM, but Chris, how do you feel about it? Have you smelled it? Pet Rock Moss by Goldfield and Beck's. I
I
jokingly call
know. I almost bought some when the whole hype thing kicked off. And then after a few weeks, people were going, actually, it's not actually amazing. It's not that. It's okay. It's good. So I've not tried it. I'm still yet to try it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. How about you, George?
What gimmick is this then? Is it trying to smell like moss?
George was on a mountain at the time when this whole thing was happening.
Oh yes, you were.
I have been on a mountain for the past like 6 months, so I'm a bit sort of out of it.
It's kind of, is it the Pacific rock moss?
It has like this ozonic like quality.
That sounds like something I'd like and Bradley would like.
I think you guys would like it. I think you would hate the price tag. That's how I feel about it.
What we're talking?
Like 185 US for 100 ml for a fragrance that lasts 2 hours.
Well, I do buy Millésime Imperial, Manny.
Well, I get that, but like the thing is like
and
you have
a good 2.5.
You do have more. I think that's a better fragrance, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it is. It is.
So
that's just my biased opinion. I don't know. That sounds interesting because, like, when I hear something like a name like that, that sounds like something like Ditch, the fragrance Ditch, where it just supposed to smell like soil.
Man,
so
PLR
sounds, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry to cut you off here,
yeah,
but I'm looking at the chat. First off, again, most hilarious handle of all time. Most hilarious handle of all time. Give your meat a good old rub. Says it's trash. I love Demi, but the fuck. Oh my god. Okay. Which idiot started the PRM hype? Adam Kovacs. Honestly, bro. You know, that's Demi Rawling. She's a native Australian, and she did a pretty bang up job as far as doing that video, which was titled, I think, the sexiest men's fragrances, like top 10. I think it has over 320,000 views as well, like in less than a year. So fair play to her. And she was naming a lot of like mainstream favorites, you know, the Aventus, the Landois de Lams, you know, that kind of stuff, 10 through 2. And all of a sudden, number 1, out of nowhere on some Randy Orton shit, we have Pet Rock Moss. Sorry, Pacific Rock Moss. I jokingly call it Pet Rock Moss because of the craze that ensued after she waxed lyrical about it. And I thought it was incredible because of the fact that, you know, out of nowhere, like, this fragrance has some hype and people actually jumped on it. And I got to hear about something that I never thought I would ever see of. So I think that was pretty cool. I think the fragrance itself is so pedestrian. And I do echo what a fragrance YouTuber named CascadeScents, our good friend Ashton, says about it. And that smells like sea salt and fig, I believe, by Old Navy. I think that's what the name is. I've smelled that fragrance. I think it's $15 US, I believe. And I thought it was hilarious when I smelled them side by side. I couldn't breathe because, like, I was just laughing in my head that, like, this is kind of legit. You know, the opening's different, but the way it hits your nose as far as the sillage is pretty much verbatim the same, is how I feel.
I think that, I mean, I just go for Selmaran.
Selmaran by Healy?
Healy. Yeah,
I feel like I had to ask just because there's multiple. I think there are multiple fragrances called Selmaran. Might be wrong, but most notably there's Healy. I have a fragrance called Note de Yuzu, which is pretty much that base, but with a yuzu opening, and I love it. And I'd love for you guys to get your nose on that one day because I'm a big fan.
Good. I need to review Selmaran. I really love Selmaran.
Okay. Yeah, no,
but that's what it sounds like. You know, this sounds like it's like that kind of deal.
I think it's not salty though. Despite the name Pacific Rock Moss, like, it's definitely not salty. Like, Tim, do you get salt from it by any chance, or is it just more like ozonic in a watery way?
Tropical. Yes, more tropical, ozonic, coconutty, tropical vibe. Yep.
You got coconut out of it?
I mean, like, it's not coconut per se, but it smells sort of in the same vein as a coconut lotion.
Lotion. Okay.
I'd say that Selmaran is about as salty as me when I reviewed Parfum's Vintage.
Okay, now speaking of that, I have to, just because we have all the culprits in the room right now. We have all the culprits in the room.
Made it at the party.
Do you want to come and say hi?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hi there.
This is Evie.
Hello.
Hey, Evie, how's it going?
You'll have to put that in your ear so they can hear you talking to you.
Do you have a
There we
scent
go.
of the day?
Hello.
That's Manny. That's
Hi.
Timmy in the colourful jumper. That's Manny with the pink hat on. You want to say hi?
Hello.
Oh, hi there.
You brought me a
Thanks
little
for
present, haven't you? You just made something for me. It's got a little feather in it.
Oh, that's
Show
pretty
them.
cool.
Can you see that green light up there? Show it up to there so they can see.
Oh,
Hold it. There you go.
Oh,
There
awesome.
we go. They love it. I think it's nice and blue and sparkly.
Super cute.
Actually, Evie's done a review of Tobacco Rouge on my channel as well.
It's one of my favorite reviews, actually. It's to the point.
It's the review called Guest
It's the best review.
Presenter.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's great.
that's incredible. I was gonna
Okay.
say, like, I'm looking at that and I'm like, I feel like I low key wish that was like fragrance inspired. And I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, we were just talking about like, you know, something like aquatic, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, looks like, because that looks like a world. Like, what kind of pin is that she made? Like, what is that?
Yeah. What is it? Is it a world or just a decoration? Is it a Christmas decoration?
No.
Oh, it's got a little dinosaur on it.
Oh yeah. And speaking of
What about
dinosaurs,
dinosaurs?
I have a fragrance called Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I know you recently touched on it, Chris. And I am wearing it here.
Oh,
And
you're
after,
wearing it, T-Rex. Brilliant. What do you think?
and after 24 hours, it's still there.
It's strong.
Very nice.
It's that cade oil base. It just really anchors it down onto your skin. doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do besides, because like I haven't showered, of course, because I'm just trying to see how long it's gonna top off for.
Mm.
But even by doing this, I still get it.
Yeah, it's I love it. I think it's great. It's very, if you want a bold statement maker, it's definitely the one.
It's weird because I also think it's weirdly wearable. Because
It is, yeah.
after the opening, I think it's pretty safe if we're going to compare it to other niches.
I put it on for work just to test it out. I work in a gym. I was thinking, I put it on. I thought, oh no, people are going to be clearing the area. Literally, they're going to be evacuating the building. And I got in, and one of my female co-workers said, "That's really nice what you're wearing today, Chris."
That's
very
messed
nice.
up.
I love really nice and floral. So she loved it. She didn't run away.
You know what?
How long have we been going here? Because I'm gonna have to bounce really soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
no problem.
too. I think our lunch is maybe going to be ready soon.
We've been going on for about a couple hours now, just over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go down and I'll come down in a minute?
Yeah.
Say bye.
Good.
Take care. See ya. Thanks for crashing. I
Okay.
appreciate that. That's
There we
cool.
go.
I was gonna say about T-Rex as well. I think, and I just want to give a shout out to Victor Wong of ZP really fast, because I think he did a bang up job as far as the marketing is concerned. Of course, it's the same darn juice. If you're gonna get the black box and then the red box, but of course, if you're a collector, you want that red box. So of course, that's what I got.
Well, T-Rex looks so much better with shades on.
Hey, there's that too, right? Yeah, the shades is incredible, so that you have a little bit of alteration on the art there. And I thought about it because I didn't think that. I thought he made this correlation, but apparently I'm wrong, because we talked about this in real life, because he's a good friend of mine. That I thought he came up with a red box because Tyrannosaurus Rex, Power Rangers, Red Ranger. That's what I thought.
Okay.
And then it wasn't that whatsoever. So this is just a sneak preview for y'all. Whenever I do a review on T-Rex for Zoologist Perfumes, I'm going to do like the Red Ranger, like morphing sequence, like with the box. So like, I just want to kind of troll that fragrance. But I kind of need like maybe one of your guys' special effects for that. No, I can do it myself. It's all good.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm just wondering though, outside of Timmy's acquisitions of Abbott NYC and Parfums Vintage, I want to know what everyone else has picked up recently, and then we're going to wrap this up. So, Tim, let's start off with you. Do you have any new pickups? If so, which ones are your favorites?
I just bought Lost Cherry for my girlfriend. So that's not my pickup, it's pickup for her.
But you like it for her, though.
Yeah. My personal pickup, I don't have any.
No? Besides the ones that were mailed to you, is that correct?
Besides the one that were mailed to me.
Okay. And about the ones that are mailed to you, Poffos Vintage, I think your favorite's the vanilla one. Is that correct?
So far, I still have to test it. I know it's just based off first impression today, but I still have to test it.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right, cool. George, you have any recent pickups?
Yeah, well, I got
Your name is Charlotte.
Memoirs of a Trespasser, finally, by my first imaginary author's fragrance, finally. I did get Oud Rain this year, tropical fragrance, that's legit.
I saw a ghost passing, George.
Oh man, the place is haunted. And I did actually get a nice little 20ml decant of Bat by Zoologist.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I'm quite enjoying it, actually. Quite enjoying it. It's quite bizarre, but I really like it. It's definitely unique, and I like unique. So there we go.
Okay. And Chris, like, any recent pickups on your end?
Yeah, a few actually. I'll just run through them quick. So there was a discount sale on a website. So I got Ombre Leather, Grey Vetiver, Pure Malt, and CH Men Privé. So all fragrances that I'd been meaning to grab for a while. I'd had samples of them, and I just took the opportunity while there was a good 20% discount sale on.
How's Pure Malt holding up? I hear that it's been reformulated. Is it okay? Is it strong?
I don't know. When was it? How long ago reformulated?
I think it was recent, like super recent. Like
okay.
I think it's been reformulated twice.
Oh, has it? I'm not sure. I do have a sample of Pure Malt which I picked up maybe 12 months ago. So I'll compare that to my current bottle. But the bottle I've been wearing for the last few days smells great to me. Just the Amen DNA sings well off my skin. It lasts pretty well, better than average performance. So yeah, really enjoy it. And then the other one, I was watching a Demi Rolling video, and she influenced me to pick up Duro from Nasamato.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. I have the box like right there.
Did you pick it up as well?
It's like right there.
Well, you know what?
I've
been meaning to grab it for a while. I really want to build up my Nasamato collection. I love them. And I'd seen a post on a Facebook group for a partial. It had kind of like, 1 mil missing, and it was a really good price. And then I saw Demi's video, and I thought, right, search on Facebook in the group, and I grabbed it.
Duro's crazy.
So can't wait. Crazy. Yeah, I love it.
I found a good price for mine as well, so I just grabbed it. It was, I think I found one for like 97.
That's good. $97. Yeah.
Yeah, $97. Yeah,
so that's about what, £70, something like that. That's
I think so.
That's a great price.
Yeah, it's very good. I was gonna say, because when you told me that you got it for that much and it's nearly full, that's like definitely a winner. Absolutely. Because like that's pretty much half price, like I would think, right? So that's you sell
always bargain hunt. Bargain hunt.
It's so good that I just wanted to really quickly say it's so good that Nasamato has like stood the test of time, because they could have been like seen as a gimmicky brand with the packaging, but they've continued for like 10 years, and that people still talk about them. It's great.
I still think reviewing yours, Chris.
Say it again to me.
When are you reviewing Duro?
Well,
I guess when you guys want to do the video,
maybe we should team up. Maybe that could be our little. Let's.
Or you guys should drop the videos on the same day. You don't necessarily have to collab, but like.
Yeah.
Actually, Chris, that's a great idea. I love that. Let's talk about it later. I already have a skit in mind for what I was gonna do for Duro. But then now that I know you bought Duro as well because of the same reason, I think I can make this kit even better.
God. All right. This is the creative juices are flowing because of this live stream. I love it.
I've had an idea for a review for Duro for the past 2 years. A really strong idea. And I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, God. Collusion.
But, oh, man, this sucks because actually, Chris, you've been really good in the review. So now we've got a standoff. We've got a fragrance review love triangle going on here.
Oh, this is like the end of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Is it the three of them or two?
With Eli Wallach, with Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, yeah. We got a standoff.
You know what? You know what? I'm fine on my own. I don't need you guys. You do whatever little review.
Oh, God.
A year later.
All right. So you're to leave Van Cleef.
Back to your mountain, George.
We could have a good, the good, the bad, and the ugly concept going on.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. With Duro. Yeah, like a very brazen, masculine
That would
fragrance.
actually, that would really work with it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, well, to be fair, George would have to start making videos again in order to actually make that a little bit
You know
more
what my biggest
concrete.
fear is? Can I tell you something? My biggest fear that keeps me awake at night is I make a comeback video. I've told Timmy this. I make a comeback video, and some guy writes, "Who are you, and why are you stealing off Brad from Triple Ink?" That's
but obviously, Tim and I know that you fathered him, so like that's interesting.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like some newbie who like, and it's on my own fault. It's my own fault. But some newbie's gonna come on and gonna go like, "Who the hell is this guy? And why is he stealing Triple Ink style?" You know, that would really make me very, very upset. That's my own fault. That's my own fault for not being active.
Okay, I have to fire some shots before we take off. I gotta fire some shots.
Yeah.
We love Brad. That's our guy. But like when he did the reacting to his own like first video that Dallas also did, as well as Tim. I'm surprised that he's yet to do something regarding his namesakes, like because he was reacting to a lot of like small, like in that reaction video, like there were some small clips of his most cringiest like gimmicks,
which was super well edited, by the way. I thought he did a great job on the edit of that video.
Oh no, it was super funny. That being said, he also he did the Viking in the Viking like outfit, right? Which is incredible. But he's called Triple H. So I'm always thinking to myself, like, is he ever gonna do like a random like Triple H impression where he'll just like come out there, like pour water in his mouth and just spit it in the air? I was just like waiting for something like that from Bradley the whole time, like his channels ever existed. And since I knew that he low-key had that in mind, but also I just to look back on his cringe and to look back on Tim's cringe and Dallas's cringe, I was just like, why haven't I done this video yet? Because I feel like I was pretty cringe back then too. But I think we all have our moments because you all start.
Sorry about that. What were you saying there, man? Just repeat that for
I was
me.
just talking about how cringe we once were. Most notably Brad. Because I'll never forget the Viking ever. That's like my favorite like Viking. That's like my favorite first impression video ever. It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. Like in like the office. Oh, it's so wavy. I love it. But what's it called? I'm just gonna get through some quick questions from you guys. I'm from the chat. I want you guys to answer on real fast, and then we'll take off. I have. Okay, so what we have here: opinions on zoologists and état libre d'orange. So actually, in like one sentence or like a run-on sentence, quickly, Tim, can you tell me what you think of zoologist and or état libre d'orange?
My thoughts on zoologist is that I already uploaded a video a couple of days ago, so it's better you guys go watch that than I waiting 10 minutes all over again. état libre d'orange, I think they're a cool brand. I enjoy some of their fragrances. I like their names the most though. That's out of everything.
Okay. And Chris, how do you feel about either brand? I know, of course, you recently touched on Tyrannosaurus Rex, but do you have experience with Eldo as well?
Yeah, just a little. I don't own any, but a little. So I would say zoologist. I'll just go with one word reviews of the brands here. Creative, zoologist. Love the creativity in that brand. I couldn't wear all of them out in public, but some I love wearing out in public. Timmy, I know you don't rate Camel as much, but Camel is my favorite of the whole line. That's gorgeous. And limited experience with état libre d'orange, but I would say solid. I love some of their scents. I wouldn't say any of them have absolutely blown me away, but from what I have, the experience I've had, solid.
Okay, cool. And George, état libre d'orange and zoologist perfumes.
Zoologist is a sort of an ongoing project that I'm having. I think that they're really, really good. I really like it. And not just that, but remember, this is sort of cheating a little bit, but I really like the guy behind it. I actually think that Victor Wong is like such a nice guy and such a lovely kind of character. And I think that sort of now that I kind of like know him and know his story, I can kind of appreciate what he's doing a little bit more.
He's a friend of the channel.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, like, and he's like super humble about it, and he's not like there are some. There's not many actually. There's not many, but there are some indie fragrance houses that because they own a fragrance house, they think that they're all that. But Victor's not like that. He's just an artist who's trying to get his thing done and make it successful. So I really like it. I really like that, and I've tried Bat. I've tried Panda, which was quite pleasant actually. I thought that was quite nice, and just there's lots of different things that I'm just trying to get in. A Tubli d'Orange. I haven't really tried many of their stuff, but I once tried Fat Electrician, and that was
I think you'd like it.
I tried it one time, and I thought that's really cool. That was like in a sample, I got a ton of indie samples, and I had to pick one that I was going to like buy a bottle of. This is something I do from time to time, and it didn't make it, obviously.
Are they? I know it's a French name, but are they a British brand?
No, they're a French brand, and it translates into Free State of Orange, which was in Southern Africa, of course, right? So, that's the inspiration, which is a hilarious inspiration. I do enjoy their fragrances as well, but Etienne's definitely from France.
They kind of remind me of this is nobody's gonna know who this is, unfortunately. Manny might. They're like the fragrance version of Boards of Canada, and Boards of Canada are they're an electronic group that I really love.
Yeah, they're just kind of march to the beat of their own drum. They're kind of just different. Yes.
Yeah, and I've used some of their music in some of my videos. They're very kind of like unique and kind of out there, and they just even the name, because like Boards of Canada is the National Film Board of Canada, and I can't say it. Double d'Orange. That's a state in where you said Africa.
Yeah, it's kind of like an ode to something foreign. So like
that's and that's what Boards of Canada kind of do as well. So it's really cool, really cool. Yes. I want to try more of their stuff, definitely.
Although they're from like Edinburgh, I think.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Boards of Canada.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
Boards of Canada from Edinburgh. Yeah, they're from Edinburgh.
Yeah. So like that's funny. But I mean, I'll close with this. Zoologist Perfumes, definitely not the most wearable brand, but I'm one of the most creative. So you have to realize what you're getting into with a brand like that, and that is artistic expression through scent. And I just think that they're amongst the best at making storytelling accessible. Just saying that here's something as mundane as describing an animal, and then we're gonna try to execute how it smells in its environment. And I think they do a super bang up job on that, which is incredible. So shout outs to them. They continue to do good work, push the envelope. Now they're into extinct animals like Tyrannosaurus Rex. So to recreate that is further more exciting, since we don't really have a reference for that anymore. But I like it a lot, of course. I do really enjoy Italie Branche. I never used to. And I'm going to echo someone's sentiments who is not currently here, like within this video, but I invited her earlier to see if she was up for the challenge to chat with us. My friend, the Broadwalk, like she kind of sold me on Italie Branche like 2 years ago, because I used to kind of be like, oh man, they're like, I just didn't think that they took fragrance seriously, with some of their outlandish concepts and names and whatnot. And then I realized, like, after smelling them and how like well executed those scents are, they just like to have fun with fragrances. And I don't think enough brands do that. Like, I think they genuinely enjoy making cool shit and making you laugh at the same time. So I furthermore appreciate Italie Branche. Now, I really like, and like, don't take this the wrong way or in a misogynistic way, but I really like their like sluttier offerings, like True Lust, or which is 2 fragrances combined, including Pouton de Palace. I love that stuff. And one of Bradley's favorites, shouts Triple Ink again, love you fam. Remarkable People is also lovely, but my favorite ever is like this from Italie Branche, which is Tilda Swinton's signature scent, which she helped come up with. So check that out if you guys have yet to. But at the end of the day, this is going to be the end of the stream. We've gone for about 2.5 hours, I believe. So thank you guys for holding it down. I appreciate you guys jumping on with me, despite me being, dead ass tired. I actually got a call from my friend earlier, about like 7 hours ago. He got into a bar fight, actually, and I had to pick him up from the place to drive him to the hospital.
Wow.
So that's why I'm up so early right now. I've yet to sleep, so I was kind of in a bad mood earlier. I was talking to Tim.
It must have gone out wearing T-Rex then.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Like fair play. I definitely did. So that's funny. But honestly, I think that this community is just super cool that I can just like hit you guys up because you're in a convenient time zone for it. And Tim and I were always up late, so to join our party, I think is cool. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite. It's just a pleasure to be on here, and
Absolutely.
really enjoyed the chat. I think we've come up with a few things that we can start chatting about together behind the scenes,
Definitely.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So Tim and Chris, if you guys want to collude, feel free. And actually, in closing for that, Tim, you want to tell us where we can find you and who you are and whatnot?
I have a channel called Triple Ink. You can check me out. The links in the description.
Oh gosh. Okay. So you guys can check out Triple Ink. There you go. You actually know who he is. That's Imagine Sent. George.
Yep.
Do you have any last words?
What am I dying? What's going on? I'm the Fragrance Apprentice. I have been not active, but I might be a little bit active a little bit sooner, maybe a lot sooner than you think. So maybe in the next month, perhaps you should just watch my channel just in case something is coming out. So there we go.
Oh snap, man! You got a donation.
Wait, what did I?
Oh no! What?
Oh, so
my
cool!
God.
Thank you, AD. That's pretty cool.
It's AD, dude. AD is such an awesome person.
Yeah.
You donated $50 to Peter, 25 to me a couple days ago, and then now 25 to you.
Listen, I just want to say that AD donated that whilst I was talking, so I think that's probably mine. I think he got really excited.
I think Georgie was paying you to stop talking, man. I think.
That's incredible.
Oh man, I can't come back on that.
Yeah, AD's
the man. AD.
That's incredible.
The
well,
boss.
Thank you. Good Lord. AD equals OG. That's amazing. Appreciate it. Thank you, fam. George, good Lord. But Chris, any last words?
Yeah, so you can see my channel, FRAG-MENTAL, and Instagram fragmental.uk. So yeah, come over, say hi, check it out. We'll have some fun.
And I'm sure we'll all collab and do videos in the near future with each other, as well as more of streams like this have our sleeping hours haven't changed, I almost called Timmy Triple Link, but this continues to be a trend. I'm sure you'll see this for weekends to come. So thank you guys. You know who I am. I'm CascadeScents. My name's Manny. You can find me. All my social networking is CascadeScents, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. So be sure to follow us and more. And I know it's not in there currently, but I'll leave everyone's links in the description below for anyone who chooses to catch us afterwards. But until then, we will sign off. So appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Peace.
Bye.